starting in one, two. All right, hello everyone. Welcome back to session 4 of Island of the Lost. We are in a predicament with Google Hangouts being taken down, so we're improvising. I got this little thing thrown together, and maybe, hopefully, we'll find a way to get video enabled in the future. But for now, I've just arranged the pictures of all the characters on the screen, and it's going to be more of a podcast style of a video tonight. I hope you all still enjoy it nonetheless. Um, Without further ado, we shall get right into the game. We left off where you were all in the process of recovering, and I'm going to start it off with asking who among you is going out and actually trying to gather food for the group. I'm going to set it. You're going to need to roll at least a 10 to feed yourself, and you're going to need one boost for each extra person to feed. So it's up to you how many hunters you want to assign. And if you fail to provide enough food, then there's going to be penalties to your recovery.
No worries. Well, I think
I'll
definitely
I'll
Aenea's
try.
going to be doing it, and Akel as well. Yeah. All right. Outdoorsman hunting, I suppose.
I probably won't be, just because I don't think my character would be civil to anything.
Oh yes, that's indeed.
Well, Rockbeak has one outdoorsman, so yeah, he could try.
Okay. 22 for Aenea.
What was that, 22?
22. So it's boosted twice.
All right.
26 for kill.
Oh, nice.
That's 14 for Rockbeak.
Alright, Rockbeak only manages to feed himself, but between Anir and Kel, they can provide for not only themselves, but also their additional companions as well, should they choose to.
What Kel is going to do is he's going to be combing the beach for like crustaceans because Rockbeak has to eat meat. Obviously, he's a carnivore.
I just
And
spilled water all over myself. Just so you guys know.
what is
Most
Rockbeak and Anir going to be doing for food?
Go ahead, Rockbeak.
Well, I mean, it's probably easier to get fish and stuff like Kel said, but I don't know. Maybe look for a pig or something. I don't know. Rockbeak's gonna look for a pig.
Alright, we can say that you found a boar that would let you, like, keeping it all to yourself would be enough to keep you decently fed for the majority of the chain.
Very cool. Aenea's going to be hunting rats. Because this be an island, man. It'd be filled with rats. Crabs, rats, anything like that. I don't eat this, of course. So I'm just giving it to you guys. So there's a bunch of like very strange furry animals that are just left there. Things of which I think actually the rats I think are squirrels. That actually makes more sense. So I get some squirrels and kind of like hoist them up, and someone eventually tends to the fire, and starts to roast them with the fire. And a nice big juicy just rat. What else? And as well, I've also done some a little bit of just very primitive rawhide, sort of stitching together some. I'm working on stitching together some like water skins. So I've got 2 of them. So a little bit of a very primitive sort of just a pouch that's been slowly treated and just tied at the top. It's very primitive, but you can carry some water in that. As well as whatever mushrooms and whatever things anyone else asks me to get, I definitely can get. And I get quite a bit of it, so it helps keep me busy. And of course I
Yes,
do.
there are 2 among you who are vegetarians or herbivores, more specifically, that can't eat meat.
Yeah. So I'll also be like looking over getting some, occasionally getting some seaweed and after like the 6th time you tell me I'll get the right one, because not all seaweed is edible. So I'll get the one which is edible and sort of put it there. And yeah, we've got a bit of a
Wait,
stockpile.
what does Da eat? Does he eat leaves too?
Da can eat meat, and in times like if people are only like he can eat meat and will, if that needs to happen. but he is more, but like he has a preference for things like nuts and berries, grains, um, roots, edible roots, tubers, that sort of thing.
Very
And so it is provided as long as the primary hunters are all right with providing for the Pacific taste, then everyone gets their fill through the chain, and no one receives any negatives to their recovery rolls. So
I'll probably be looking after the fire to make sure that stays lit, and getting humanely sourced wood instead of living organisms. While that's happening, also I will be doing some carving, I guess. Would you like me to make a carpentry roll to make things for people?
go ahead.
All right. So for Rockbeak, that is a total of a 6 plus a. God, what did we cut? 12 and a. God damn it, Phil. So that is a total of a 17. I'm making for him a specialized kissing stick.
Oh, hell yes.
It's gonna have like
Beautiful.
a little turtle totem on it. And
Also, make notes of your roles as we will play out the scenes of you providing these gifts after everything else is said and done with this montage. So just make notes of
Alright.
these roles.
writing down, no worries. Kiss stick 16. Oh, sorry, 17. I'm gonna go back to completely confused by these notes. And then will I be allowed to touch the ogre's body? Aurelia.
Yeah, I'm having a very hard time hearing just about anything. But can you say it again?
Will I be permitted to touch the ogre's body?
Yes, if it's just touching.
Okay, if it's just touching. All right.
Yes.
If it isn't just touching, then it's a problem, right?
Yes.
Okay. Memes. What? Are there any other bones in this cave?
We've been collecting
Yes.
like, yeah, there's a lot of bones from like what Rockbeak has been leaving behind.
No
And
worries.
there's
Could I?
bones from the meals the ogre had before his untimely demise that are still littered about as well.
Okay,
Crab shells
Okay.
as well. Yeah.
perfect. I'm probably going to be making something out of bone with a scrimshaw roll, still using carpentry. And I guess carving a flower for Aurelia. Oof, that's a shit roll.
Oh, what did you get?
With a 1 and a 2.
Oh,
So that's 10 plus a 2, so that's only 12.
it's not hideous. You know,
12
I
for
mean,
the flower.
it's decent.
Well, that's like the lowest possible roll without a crit fail.
It's not
Yeah,
hideous. That is your opinion.
Hey, listen. Fucking foul flay better appreciate the bloody flowers.
Hey, it's not my present.
That is true. He does not have a present. It is my present, and I fucked up. Anyway, is anybody else doing something?
No, we've just been gathering a few things as well. Like we've got the a bundle or even a few bundles of like vine rope, in camp as well. So yeah, just sort of like making sure that we're tending to food and we're sort of healing up and just gathering supplies and food and everything like that. I don't make any sort of mentions or any sort of efforts to make weapons though, so that doesn't come into my mind at all. So people who are inclined to use weapons will be looking at that themselves.
The hunters, I'm going to ask if you guys could please, on your adventures, find me sharp stones. or if it's like if this island is volcanic, hopefully dark glass, obsidian. That stuff makes awesome tools. But if you guys, just in terms of like doing the crafting, if you have any luck finding sharp stones,
Yeah.
that'd be absolutely amazing. Because I have no skill in mason, so I can't sharpen them myself.
Yeah, I got nothing in Spelunker or Mason myself, so Annie will try, like when you ask her, she'll sort of nod slightly and probably go out and get you some, like a clay brick or something that she found.
Kel will hand over one of his spare stone daggers.
Oh, brilliant! Okay, I can use that to carve.
I've got two,
Perfect.
so
Thank you.
he can have one.
Rockbeak has Spelunker, so he could try to look for something too.
I will.
If you want to go spelunking, you can make a roll. This cave does go deeper than your campsite.
Ooh.
16.
In your expeditions, you're able to find some particularly sharp rocks and just rocks that are otherwise easily sharpened, much better than the surface stones you've been finding above ground. But you don't find anything like any precious metals or materials other than just good old-fashioned stone. So essentially, you guys have an ample supply of decent quality stone that is either already sharpened or easily sharpened to do whatever you want with.
In my spelunking, did I send any silver anywhere at all?
No.
Well,
And if that's everything, we can go into our first scene now. If no one has anything else they want to do over this montage.
Nothing else to add.
Oh, by the way, are we gonna be playing out the anything of the giving of gifts, or are we just saying how we actually?
Yes, we're going to be doing that soon.
Yeah. I suppose as well. I'll slowly be chatting and hanging out with Relia, and he's going to be very interested in the drawings and the carvings or the artistry that she does on the walls and with the chalk. So she'll sort of be
Oh yeah, and learning to read and shit.
Yeah, a little bit of that. So just like the barest beginnings of that, because most of this chain has been very busy just tending to Kel and Rockbeak and
Yes.
sort of
Yeah,
gathering
I
materials.
can explain all I can about artistry. So anything you want to learn, I'm willing to.
Yeah, and therefore I pick up that grade of artist. Yes. That's pretty much it for me.
And we'll start off with everyone at max health except for Kel, who will be 1 point short as he automatically fails his conditioning roll when we start our very first scene of him going into another nightmare. This time he's been plagued by minor nightmares, but this one is another extremely realistic one, much like the others he's had before. This time,
Bring it on.
when Kel is walking through his homeland again in the same foreign body that's familiar, but too small, too scrawny, too weak to be him. This can't be him, but at the same time, it feels like him. It thinks like him. It just overall looks like him if he was small, if he was weak and scrawny, like a normal frame male. And this village, from the last time he saw it, it looks much gloomier, much darker. The people are all sadder, and the village is keeping to themselves. And as he walks past, this small, frail man walks past the streets, people shut their doors and hide and scurry their children away, all fearing him for some reason. And then he keeps walking almost uncontrollably and walks further and further away from the village, further and further out into the fields, until he finally enters the dark forest. And then the lights begin to dim the further and further he goes through the underbrush. Strange creatures dance and scurry about, centipede-like beasts with the wings of flies fly about. large furred creatures with eyeballs covering their bodies look down at him unblinkingly from the trees, and his feet are not his own. They're not. He can't control them. He's being forced to march through this strange alien world until finally he sees the most hideous creature he's ever seen in his entire life. For a perspective, this thing has 6 grades in ugly imperfection, where 3 would be the ugliest human. For a perspective, to help you get a decent visual, the thing is completely covered in black, burnt tar looking skin, like burnt. The smells that radiate from this skin are disgusting and indescribable. The hair is long and dark and matted and covered in grease and oils with long obsidian claws. And the creature approaches in a vaguely feminine form, and it takes Kel in his fragile form and drags him into the forest before having its way with him. And he is forced to feel and see and smell and hear these things in this dream like he was really experiencing it. And as the dream goes forward, the smell of wet pine just begins to overpower his nostrils, and of small relief to the wretched stench that he had been smelling before, enough to make him gag. The creature's horrendous visage is enough to make nearly enough to make a man's heart stop, but somehow you persevere and stay conscious, unmercifully so. And then the pain in the chest, your chest begins throbbing and throbbing and throbbing as it's a crushing weight upon you before you wake up with your chest massive pain in it once again, completely like you didn't sleep a wink, and that same smell as you smelled last time of wet pine needles last time you woke up from your dream.
Kel will he will waken with a groan, and if this is early morning before the rest of his companions awake, they will likely be aroused to it. As he rolls over on his grass mat and stroke
Would
his,
we smell the pine too?
As soon as you wake up, yes.
he he's laying on his left side, and with his right hand he's kind of like rubbing like the side of his pec where like there would have been a bruise or something, but if any of you catch his eye, he'll look away and then mutter something under his breath. He'll gather up his things, but with his kind of his loincloth and his sack that he's made for his personal belongings, he'll just gather that up and then walk out of the cave into, I suppose, into the dawn to gaze out onto the sea and likely to bathe because he feels quite wretched and filthy. So you guys get a rather pervy view of his backside and his golden muscular form as he does not care to cover up in your presence whatsoever, and you just hear him kind of like thinking out loud, but he's kind of muttering in more ghoulish as that mane of red hair disappears out of the cave.
Could I roll an outdoorsman with my forte in land plants to know what pine is?
Sure. Go ahead.
Or we don't have to roll carpentry, because pine also gives a very distinct smell when you're cutting it or sanding
You
it.
can take your pick.
I'm gonna roll carpentry. Rolling hot shit tonight.
Roll
That
it,
is a
man.
six.
Roll it well.
That is a 15.
Yeah, you can recognize the smell of pine.
And do I know the theological implications with a theology of 3?
Make me a roll.
All right. Again, hot shit, 2 and a 1.
Get him out early.
You get him out early.
Oh no.
That is a total of 9.
All right, you know that Ajira has domain over pines, and that's all you know.
Okay. Akira, and do I know anything about his link to nightmares?
You know that, yeah. I'll let you say that you know he's has domain over nightmares and pines.
Right. Okay. Okay. Yeah. This is. I guess I'll take note of that. And yeah,
As
sorry, please continue.
as Kel leaves and the wind wafts into this place and it brings with it the smell of pine. It smells like home. It smells like that place or that old place where I used to call home. I turn and face.
Oh.
Hello?
Oh.
Okay. I turn. No, I'll speak closer to the mic. I turn and look over towards Dar, the speaking tree, and give a weary and a concerned glance, and then look over at Rockbeak and Relia, and you smell that again.
Cutting out quite a bit.
Yeah? Okay. No worries.
Also, Anir and Relia would both, without any roles being from their backgrounds, would recognize that smell rather easily.
As soon as I hear Kel's first groan I watch him until he leaves the cave. And when Anir asks if I smell that, I sort of silently nod.
Rockbeak will stir when he hears Anir say that. But yeah.
And now we're gonna test. That should be okay.
Stands up.
There's something. I smelt it before. I look quite nervous.
Yes, and all of you, besides Relia, would recognize the smell from roughly a chain ago when Kel woke up as well, and any of you, even without much theology, occult, or what have you, would be able to tell there's some kind of connection going on to Kel and the smell. Even if you can't connect it straight away to his nightmares, you can connect it, but connect the dots that Kel is producing this smell somehow.
I guess Dar is probably not going to say much, but he's going to get up and follow Kel. Down to the beach.
Well, if you follow me out there, I'm gonna assume that there's been about 5 or 6 minutes before I leave and
Yes.
you follow me.
Yes. Oh,
so...
definitely about 10 minutes before I get there.
Oh, okay. So we're looking at like a 15-minute window there. All right.
Like by the time I'm getting down there, you probably finished your bath, man.
So no, I was gonna say, yeah, you'd come out and he's actually bathing in the sea about 2.5, maybe 3 feet of water, and he's got the pile of what little clothes that he has behind him. So as soon as you leave, you see him walking up the beach, and he'll turn around and he'll just start pissing into the ocean.
Yeah, Rockbeak is
Okay.
going to also go outside, so he's probably gonna get there before Daw does. He's gonna waddle
Amazing.
outside. He's also gonna take a piss. And mayhap
You're
wash.
gonna come stand next to me.
Yeah, we'll just stand next to it. Yeah, we'll just piss in the wind. Like, oh yeah, hey, how you doing, buddy?
Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, yeah. Fine day for it.
The
It's
Kel
right
will
here.
look at the sky and say, "Yeah, we certainly could have picked a worse day to travel."
Yeah, and
Um,
then those damn storm birds around here, so it should be good.
Thank fuck for that.
From the beach. Just double checking with the FT. What's the range on the thing which I got from this level?
One
Is it
moment.
line of sight?
I have to double check that. Please continue with your scene with Rockbeak and Kel while I check something with rules real quick.
Well, after Rockbeak finishes pissing, he's gonna also jump into the water, but he's gonna do it upstream. I guess away from where the piss is. He's gonna go. He's gonna bathe. He's got the common sense not to just jump right into where he's gonna piss.
I'm glad.
So he's gonna go and try to take a bath and wash get everything off his shell and just wash his crevices and watch out for sharks, basically. So
What Kel will do is he'll follow Rockbeak about a few dozen yards up the beach, and he'll be about 15 feet back from him as he's submerged, and I'll actually I'll look out for sharks, because I mean, if this is dawn, I mean, the coral's gonna be lousy with them.
All right, and yeah, you can do it just with line of sight. So we can go back to Daw now. What you wanted to do?
No worries. I would like to expend a point of prana
Go ahead.
and cast a spell.
Go ahead and describe for us how you proceed with this casting.
So you probably wouldn't see it from where you guys are of much what's happening, but he kind of tilts his straw hat back and then removes his removes his mask, and he's going to he's going to remove his mask, and he's going to be muttering something. If the listener is close by, he's going to hear him say, I'm going to use my character voice for this, so bear with me. By root and rot, leaves and bark, let mine darkened eyes perceive the heart. By sap and sapling, oaken woods will plumb the truth of unspoken, silent words. And I am with. I'm going to read Kel's aura.
Ooh,
Ooh.
Alan, do you want me to do that, or do you want?
You're gonna go ahead and describe your general mood for him, and I will describe the rest of the things out of your control.
Okay.
First, in terms of general mood, I need to make a insight emotions roll.
Do it.
Is that right? Yes. Fucking. This is my good dice too, and every single time it's rolled a 1.
Yeah.
A
dude,
1 and a
just
2
get out of
again.
those. Come on now.
No, a 1 and an 8, but still.
Oh, suppress! No!
Yeah, I know, right? It is a total of 15.
Oh, that's not that bad.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's good enough for you to get a feel of his most of his emotions. You wouldn't necessarily see like deep into his soul or anything, but surface level emotions and stuff he might not necessarily display on surface, but not so much as stuff he's desperately trying to hide away. So with that information, go ahead and tell him what Kel's feeling right now, both surface and things he might not necessarily want people to know.
And unconscious emotions then. So on the surface, Kel, ever since you met him, has been very composed. Quiet, but composed. And you can attribute that to however many cycles of being a brigand and surviving the wilderness.
Very laissez-faire. Yeah.
Yeah, it is kind of a focused laissez-faire, really.
Okay.
He's got a very focused edge to him, but since his arrival here on the island, it's been laxing as the days and the chains go on. A little bit underneath the skin, there's a bit of turmoil. You can tell that something has happened to him in the past that he will not speak of. That very much it doesn't hurt him anymore, but there is that ever so slight sting of he was very hung up on a person or a thing or an event in his life, and he's just recently started to go down the path of it'll be all right. But there's something recent that has uncovered, kind of opened those wounds again for you. So he feels a little bit more grated at every turn now. So just the setbacks and wanting to leave the island and just having so many distractions come up left and right is starting to. That's why he's been snapping at almost everything. But outwardly, he's keeping all of that to himself because he is not a man that likes to hang his dirty laundry in public.
Yeah, makes sense.
And for the rest of the auras that you see, you can tell his life force has indeed been damaged, but he is in possession of no mystical powers or diseases.
His life force has been damaged?
Yes.
Is okay. Is there any way that could be elaborated on in terms of I don't know what that really means in terms of the law?
Basically, you can see the fabric of his soul laid bare before you, and pieces of it are cracked, and it looks like your best guess is something has either assaulted him spiritually or fed from him spiritually.
Okay. Uh-huh. That's fascinating. Right. I will use this information later on. So essentially he has like the whole satyr hole in the soul vibe. Wait,
Not
no, as in like no. He's as in like he's been fed upon. He's been attacked by like a soul stealer.
Yes, something along those lines. There's not enough evidence there for you to make a conclusive deduction as to what exactly happened, but his soul has been damaged in some way, shape, or form by something.
That's fucking fascinating. Okay. I guess I'm just gonna have a look around now that I've passed this ritual. Do I see, I guess like is anything interesting about Rockbeak or well no. Not there's loads of things which are fascinating about Rockbeak. But in terms of like in terms of just mystically, and how is he feeling at the moment?
Make another roll to see Rockbeak's emotion.
Yes. Okay.
And then after he describes
Double
his
sevens. Fuck yes!
Yeah, I mean,
Woo!
almost crit. Like literally, like right under the crit. You were about to have Rockbeak's entire life story laid before you. but-
20.
You
I
bastard.
would have loved to hear that.
I would love to hear that. I would have been so.
Eyes of
mad.
Aramon, man, nice. 77.
So what? So what's your total?
Yeah. So my total is 21.
All right, Rockbeak. Go ahead and tell him every emotion you're feeling, including repressed ones. But you can pick your deepest, darkest repressed emotion. Keep that secret, but everything else is laid bare to him. Everything Rockbeak's feeling, even feelings he hasn't felt in a long time that are deeply repressed or anything like that.
Well, on the
Not your
surface,
thoughts, by the way. This is your emotions, not particular thoughts.
well,
Yeah.
on the surface, he's happy. Is hungry an emotion? Because he's always hungry. He's happy though to be. He's bathing, so I guess you can assume that's why. Deeper down than that, he is agitated and very hateful towards something or someone, and he's just he's a rat in a cage right now, basically, and he just you feel all this hate down in there, that is under the surface, and you maybe a hint of remorse mingled in there, but the hate is so overpowering. He's a very hateful turtle. But as of right now, that's all right now.
Okay.
And he has no mystical energies, life force damage, anything of that nature.
Okay. Radio. Right, ozone. Okay. Just in terms of shit around the island, I'm just gonna have a look around. Do I notice a gigantic mystical predator about to gank my ass?
No, there are no
Absolutely.
mystical creatures in the wood line and the water or anything like that.
Okay.
Nothing of that sort.
Oh, I don't
Okay.
believe that at all. That huge great white was clearly a magician
Right
from the
there.
other day. Yeah.
He's a
Oh,
cleric
God,
of-
imagine
Who do you call it?
Leviathan? Oh, yeah.
Oh, Fatash. Oh, fuck me.
Yeah, he's a
Uh,
high level
priest.
cleric or shaman. Shaman of Atash,
God
shape
damn
shifting
it.
into shark. So there you go.
Jeez.
Oh, no, anything but that.
Don't give him any more ideas, please. Come
Don't give him any more ideas.
on. Shut up, guys. God.
So yeah, I'm gonna close my third eye, and well, my only eye, and yeah, just make my way back to the cave.
And
Meanwhile,
while all of
inside.
this is going on, yeah, we're gonna go back over to you guys, and I was about to ask, what are the rest of you doing in there?
Yeah, so as soon as they leave, I stand and walk over to you, Relia. Maybe you're kneeled down somewhere, maybe doing your doing some drawing or something like that. I turn to you and I approach you quietly. Do you smell that earlier? That smell which came from Kel. It smelled like pine.
Oh,
Sorry.
we didn't get.
Sorry,
yeah,
my-
we didn't get all of that. Sorry.
Okay.
I basically didn't hear anything you said. I tried to type it in the chat, but my keyboard is apparently also broken too. So,
no worries.
yeah, my laptop is.
Am I okay now?
Really,
Am I okay now, or is it still
Yes.
bad?
Yes.
You
yeah,
are-
you're,
Okay.
you're
yes.
fine now.
All right. Just let me know. Thanks. So, do you smell that smell that came from Kel?
I do.
That's happened before. It is some sort of. It happens when he awakes, and it goes away when he has his bath. But it's every morning. I don't know what it means. Relia, is it Is it something that's dead? I look quite scared.
It must be familiar to you as well, right? In a more personal way.
I know that smell.
It's from the forest.
Yes, it is. And it is
Do you
on
have
him.
any- Do you have any idea why this would be happening?
I don't know, but
Long
I
way
was
from the forest.
thinking perhaps maybe it could be because of some sort of curse or maybe some sort of ghost or spirit.
As much as the others would like to believe, sort of special connection with spirits or something, I truly don't. So I'm not sure what to make of.
Does your friend know anything about it? The ogre?
I've been trying to contact him, but he is gone.
He's gone. What
He
does that
spoke
mean?
He spoke of his god, the mole. I'm assuming he may have taken him home by now. For I've not seen my friend for honestly since you have made it here.
And I just want to seem to have an epiphany, and
Well, this is some sort of spirit that's messing with Kel. Perhaps my friend was hurt by it as well.
That
I'm
is
very
that is an
hurt.
ill omen.
For my friend only disappeared shortly after your party arrived.
An ill omen indeed.
I-
Ill omen.
I think it would be necessary to speak with Kel about this.
Would Relia be riding right now or near her ridings?
yeah.
Is she actually riding?
Yes, a little right now. She's like just beginning like the kind of base prep of her next.
Her
Right.
hand, she would notice her hand wrote something that she didn't intend to write, and this would catch her eye very quickly because that's very rare, and it's a single word, and still in her very highly stylized style, but it's a single word, enforcers, and that is, she wrote that subconsciously.
My eyes widen a little.
Emir,
Yes?
write this.
Like this, and I point towards you what you just wrote down. With this, and I take out the chalk that you gave me.
It was my hand, but I didn't do it.
I reach over and sort of gently grab or hold your hand that you just wrote and sort of feel it with my hand. And
It says enforcer. Do you have any idea what that could mean?
enforcer. No, I don't. I look terrified at the moment. This is some sort of creepy ghost and spirit things. Just then, I think Dar is coming back. The speaking tree.
Phil, you there? You're muted, by the way, in case you're trying to talk.
I'm such a fucking idiot. Anyway, yeah. So with Dar rolling, coming on back, he is going to be like, I guess he just like kind of like walks up, and do I see? Okay, what language is enforcer written in?
Desazaes, but it's in an extremely highly stylized one that is difficult to read even if you're a native speaker. And if you want to try to decipher it, I'll need an artist roll or an academics deciphering unknown language roll.
I will roll artist.
Duh, you're back.
Actually, yeah,
There's something strange
oh,
here.
fucking nuts.
Something very, very
15.
strange.
What was that?
15. 15 plus, 21 again.
All right, 21. Yeah, you can read the word enforcer.
Dar is going to lose his shit.
All right, how?
He just kind of walks in and then like plants his staff, and then he just he like. Have you ever heard a scream in slow motion?
I can imagine that.
To now.
Like I could,
Yeah,
I
it's pretty
could,
unsettling.
yeah. So I just like, and not like a Super Saiyan Sam, like I just did. But just like he is genuinely terrified, and he is going to start yelling in Threxa, enforcers, where are the enforcers? Who wrote this?
Okay, so I grab Relia by the arm, and I start running out of the cave. We have to get out of here.
Yeah.
I just run. I just like this is too weird. This place is cursed. This place is cursed. Yeah, I just grab you and I just try to run with you just outside.
I'm just gonna start staying calm as you didn't. Why are you running so fast?
This place is cursed. Da! I start yelling back inside towards the cave. Come out of there! A spirit is here. It's amongst us.
I am going to roll. How? What's a roll to calm down? Meditation, perfect. I'm gonna roll meditation just to stop losing my shit. Yeah, I have a 6 in that, plus an enlightenment of +5, plus a 8 on a roll. So that would, yeah, I've managed to calm myself down. But Dar is not a happy chappy.
So as we sort of like linger towards the entrance of the cave, I'm looking around. The crackling fire is starting to die down, and maybe even toppled over, and other things have been toppled over in the rage of this great massive giant tree.
Yeah, I've just smacked around some of the stuff from the fire.
I'm holding your hand and your arm kind of tightly, Relia, just kind of like trembling, shaking slightly. I'm staring wide-eyed at Dar at the moment. It's obvious that this is something very, very creepy, very weird.
I use my hand that you're not holding on to just like slowly and gently place it on your head and grab your head a little bit. There's no need to be so frightened.
But I look at you with crazy, crazed, scared eyes. But there's something here that Rockbeak. What? What is going on? What?
You hear from outside, like, hey, what the hell's going on up there? I'm trying to take a shit.
Not in the cave entrance. I told you before. Come in here quickly. This place is.
And I'm just gonna look at I'm going to look at my my silverhead friend. Why? Was this written? And this is the most intimidating you've seen him.
you understand this word, the enforce? What does it mean? I'm not sure what it means.
And like he kind of like massages the side of his head, with his hands. Enforcers. They are switching to non-character voice at the same time. Enforcers, cruel, torturers, killers, hateful, evil, bad owner.
Is this a spirit, this enforcer? It's a spirit that is attacking Kel and us now.
Not enforcer. Not sorry. That's not what my character said. Not spirit. God.
At that time, Rockbeak is waddling up, still shitting. Like, what's going on up here? We're under attack. They couldn't have the decency to let me finish my shit.
I go as pale as a ghost at that. But I
Cruel gods, evil gods. Gods that
Sort
pluck
of.
out my eyes.
I would look at my one free hand. Do you think these gods were the ones who made my hand right?
Mayhap a warning. We must be careful.
we must find a new place. This place is too.
It is very strange. I've always had complete control over my hand. This has never happened.
Rockbeak will just scream like, "Hey, Kel, get up here and watch out for the trail of shit. There's something going on up here."
Rockbeak, did you hear
Kel
that?
would kind of be ripped out of his kind of his reverie there as he's been watching the tide roll in and out and finding that calm so important to his race. He'll glance up at the cave entrance. He'll just nod, look for the shit in the sand, and then make his way
Kel,
around
make
it.
me a perception roll.
Ooh,
Oh, he's
what?
gonna step on the shit.
Do you have any fortes in perception as well?
I don't have any fortes in perception, but that is a 17.
All right. When Kel is getting prepared to go back up, he notices off down the beach a ways a small group of people moving up the beach. He can't make out the exact details of them from this distance, but he would guess there's at least 4 people, maybe more, coming down the beach quite a ways down. The beach is pretty flat and long, and you can see they're maybe an hour away. They're very, very small specks in the distance at this point, but your eyes do just catch their moving forms.
Okay. I'll jog up that rocky path and I'll stay at the cave entrance, kind of like hang my head just around, peek around the corner, and I'll say, "We may or may not have some company, ladies and gentlemen."
Kel, Rockbeak, there's some sort of spirit here. There's some enforcer.
Then
It
get
made-
your ass out there.
It made Aurelia speak. And what are you saying? There's people coming. I look quite concerned.
Yes, we may have company.
Or are you being followed by someone or something?
Oh, there's just a small band of, I'm assuming, beachcombers just about an hour or so down the beach from us. You can just barely see them.
That's very strange, for they've never come from my cave before. They must be after you.
This must be connected. It must be because of this.
Yeah,
Just
I think
whatever
we go there
happened.
and see what the fuck they doing.
Are you still hungry, Rockbeak?
Nah, I'm
No, I
always hungry.
Well, he'll just smile. let's have at them then.
They could be followers of this god, this spirit, these enforcers. We have to leave.
Enforcers, hey, those are the guys that live in the village, you know, with ogre and whatnot. They're the enforcers there. We're talking about enforcers.
Yes, that is the word which was written.
Then oh. Kel
Hey,
will
maybe-
look over
maybe
his shoulder and do you think that can tell us where our things are? He's looking at Rockbeak.
I imagine if they are enforcers, we could probably make one talk. Although I'm sure they're somewhere in the village somewhere, locked up tight.
Well, that's fine. You can give them a severely deadly beating.
We need to go then. Let's gather our things.
No. Run. Run and hide.
We should run.
Are you gonna hide, big fella, or are you gonna go help us fight them? I can't hear you. You talk like a tree.
Dangerous. And he's gonna Dar is like backing away, and like he looks fucking terrified.
Oh, great! Now the tree's scared. Oh, this is just what we need.
And Kel just rolls his eyes and gathers up his things. I'll wait for you outside, Rockbeak.
All right, come on, tree man, come on, dog. We gotta get out of here. We gotta go.
I don't want to go where the enforcers are. Fuck. I guess I will.
Don't worry, buddy. If you get scared or you don't want to fight, just pretend you're a tree and just stay there. Don't move. I gotta go catch up with Kel. You girls make sure the tree comes with us. We can't leave him in here by himself. And Rocky
Come on,
just walks
Da.
out, following Kel.
Come on, Dar. This place is...
Okay.
This is a bad omen, bad place. We have to go. We need to go anyway. We'll go find what these creatures are that are coming here.
So they go over there and begin to help Anir take Da out. Gently.
Yeah, we just grab all the stuff. You know, just all the apothecary ingredients, the bedrolls, whatever we've been using. You know, that's just packing up very quickly into pouches and things like that. We need to find out exactly what these creatures are that are coming towards us, and if they present a threat, then maybe we need to. They may have some information, or we may need to know what they are exactly, or exactly what is attacking us, what is coming for us. We need to move anyway, and after we deal with them or we find out, we will go. Let's go to the slug people. Maybe we can find shelter there, or towards the mountain. I can lead the way, but come on, we have to go now, quickly.
He is terrified. And really doesn't want to go anywhere. But with some coaxing, he's going to go with the girls.
Also, Alan, real quick, I want Rockbeak to be able to, it's gonna be constantly sensing for silver, you know, when I'm just walking and stuff. Is it just a normal action? Is that possible? I'm just walking and chilling.
Yes, if you're just walking around, you can
Okay.
use normal action to sense that you
If
walk
there's
up.
any silver, he's gonna try to grab that shit up.
Let's speak something to Da. I used to be a soldier. Don't need to worry around me.
A soldier?
Is coming for us. We won't be able
He looks very uneasy. But like a little bit more relieved by
My facial expression doesn't change, but I'm gonna gently rub your tusk
aw,
or something.
sure.
Okay. We have everything now. I put on like the straw hat, which is horribly damaged, but still good. I have everything now. Let's go.
Nice to meet you and you, Paul. Yeah, so I'm gonna be heading off with the girls.
And if it comes down to it, just make sure to hide. I'll deal with.
Dar isn't like speaking much. He's in like a complete fight or flight response. He's not having a good time.
As we go outside, and you exit the cave, Relia, like I just and he just hands you just a huge brick-sized like piece of rock, here, and then just turn and just continue walking down the trail, down the pathway towards the beach and following where Rockbeak and Kel went. I just hand you like a brick-sized rock.
I look a little confused at this, but
And with that, would you guys be waiting for them to catch up with you? Are you going off on your own to confront these people, or what are you doing?
What's the plan, Kel?
Kel just started walking, so Rockbeak is either on his heels or right by his side, and the other three are maybe just a few minutes behind him. So like you are within line of sight, but I haven't started to wait at all.
I will run up. I'm very fast. I will run up and catch up relatively quickly. Are you going down the beach to meet up with them, like out of like in plain sight, or are you like kind of sticking to the trees?
Yeah, you will see that there are about 4 dark spots on the beach about an hour ahead of us, and I am walking in that direction to meet them.
Okay, interesting. Okay.
I'm not hiding. I am just this huge golden statue walking down the beach.
Very cool. I curse in Ajiran at that. This is stupid. I put my waiting for Relia and kind of motion towards her to follow me and Rock and Dar as well. I hoist some of my packs in a hidden sort of just under brush and next to a tree that I'm familiar with. I put my things down there, and I skulk along the tree line, along the hinterland beach line, and sticking to the shadows. I'm going to be following closely, but staying out of sight, staying in the forest.
Alright, so at this point in time, you can all describe the order in which you're approaching. Like, are you approaching in like a line? Is anyone else trying to keep to the trees? Anything like that? Any special formation you're trying to do? Whatever. Just basically describing your positions.
I'm assuming Rockbeat is wider than Kel. Like if I was behind Kel, my shell on top of poke out.
Oh yeah, you would
Yeah,
be able to
so-
hide behind me.
So yeah, I'm walking side by side then. You know, I was gonna do the thing. Oh, I walk single file, and then they're like, "Oh, it's just one guy," and then I'm like, "Hey, what the fuck you talking about, buddy?" So I'm just walking next to Kel. And I'm waddling down the beach.
I
ready
mean,
to
I
fuck
could
people up.
crouch behind you and we could do it.
I don't think that would work.
No, we're gonna do it the way it is. And,
Even crouch, you're like 2 feet tall. I don't know. You're huge. So
Yeah.
And just for the scene, so is it a nice bright sunny day today? Is it it's probably early morning,
Yes,
right?
it is. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
early morning. It's absolutely gorgeous out. There's like not really any clouds. You know, it's a tropical paradise basically.
Very
It's
cool.
literally a cool breeze is coming through, kind of a little bit helping with the tropical heat, but only just for a moment. And then you see the Ara Mazda is just rising in the distance, the sun up off in the distance, and the ocean goes in and out, soothing noises, the waves rolling in. And if you didn't know any better, this place would be paradise.
Yeah, a weird alien paradise.
Yeah, unfortunately, we do in fact know better.
I'm gonna be following in here, by the way. And while I'm doing that, you notice I have no technique at all in the ways But I do have an immense amount of natural grace that is that kind of makes that part of.
Yeah, so noticing that and kind of cringing at the sort of some of the clumsy sort of treading on twigs or leaving behind tracks, I sort of start to I slow down a little bit, but still very very fast and very fluid, moving through the underbrush. I start with my hand to gesture towards certain paths, so I sort of guide you a little bit and sort of tell you to direct
I
you.
accept your guidance. I don't know how to avoid stuff like, on my own, so I'm letting you do it. But my footsteps are very soft and light. So while I'll be fine if I do it slowly, I can't keep your pace as fast
Yeah.
as you go.
As soon as we essentially catch up towards, because they're not gonna be too.
Catching up anytime soon.
Yeah. Like you're gonna be. I expect you just to be like back at the cave entrance. Like you'll still be there when I get back in an hour. I'm expecting that. So, sort of leading Relia down. As soon as we get parallel, so Kale and Rockbeak are walking down the beach, and sort of parallel to them is where I want to be, and sort of leading Relia behind me, but
And
sticking
is
to the
Dahl walking
underbrush.
Like, is Dahl walking on the beach, or is he following through the underbrush as well?
I am following through the underbrush. It's taking me a real fucking long time, but I'm following through the underbrush.
All right. Just ahead of time, so I know the rolls for later. I'm gonna have anyone who is going through the underbrush make a stealth roll.
All right.
Oh boy!
Oh. Wow, that's a bad roll. That was almost a crit fumble. That was a 2 and a 1.
Was it a 2-1?
That was a 2 and a 1.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, okay. So, just a quick question. I actually am staying by Aurelia. Because of what she said earlier. Sorry, I thought she was going through the underbrush. So I am going to be.
Yeah,
sticking...
she is going through the underbrush.
Okay. So I am sticking next to the golden haired elf. Sorry, Fran.
Okay. Even with that terrible roll, I still got a 12.
Respect. I am not skilled in stealth at all. 7.
God.
All right, and Relia following through the underbrush. You need to make a roll as well for stealth.
You motherfucking hard, bitches.
One second, I'm having some technical difficulties.
That's right.
You can just post that roll in chat whenever, and we'll move on. I don't need the rolls right this second.
I have the bad case of sneezing. So I'm sneezing. That's why my stealth is bad.
She's having a reaction to something.
Yep, the sun. Sun sneezing.
Oh.
The sun.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
fair.
Alright, so Rockbeak and Kel will just blatantly walking up with all the bravado they can muster, just walking down the beach towards this group. And after some time, you eventually catch up and notice more shapes as you approach, and for a total of 6 people when you originally thought it was going to be 4.
I muttered down to Rockbeak, "Oh, 6. Come on now. That's not enough, is it?" He'll wink down at Rockbeak.
I mean, maybe it was 1-on-1. 6 versus 1 might be a fair fight, but this is just gonna be a slaughter.
Yeah, 6 versus you. Nice.
And you'll notice they are led by a Freyine woman with long blonde hair put up into a ponytail, with light skin and golden eyes. She wears a quilted jerkin with a copper cutlass drawn and ready. At her
Okay.
back, yes.
Rockbeak is gonna just stop and grab Kelly. Okay, now. All right. You were just gonna kill him, right? You're not gonna go over there and start mating with him, okay, buddy?
All right. Shut up. Shut up. Thanks, Grant. Thank you. Let me compose myself here. I guess. Yeah. So, how do you grab him? Like, just by his arm? Like, what's going on here?
I guess I just like pull on your loincloth. I guess is the closest thing to me. I just pull on. I'm like, hey, buddy, come on now. We're about to kill him. You're not gonna be mating with him, right?
Well, he just kind of looked over at the Freying woman, and right now, Flame Tender, how far away in like yards are they?
They're far enough away that they could hear you if you yelled, but not. They're not going to hear you guys whispering. So they're getting very close.
Okay, I'm gonna look back at her and just kind of like bite my lip, like,
Oh
For
man.
reference, she has the single grade of attractive all Freyings start with. She's not extraordinarily beautiful, but all Freyings are beautiful by nature.
oh, that doesn't matter at all to Cal. She could be missing her nose and you'll think she's pretty. He's like, what do her companions look like?
She is followed by 3 ogres and 3 satyrs.
Of course she is. Okay. As soon as Kel sees that there's 3 ogres with her, he's gonna look back at Rockbeak and she's probably not gonna want to talk or have anything to do with me. So, well,
I mean, we could give it a shot. At least say we tried, but we're probably gonna end up eating them anyways.
there's plenty of meat on those ogres to keep you fed 4 cycles, my friend. He'll just pat you on the show, and you can have the ogres. Just let me have the blonde down there, and we'll do something with these satyrs.
I mean, technically they're all Fey meat, right? So Rockbeak is salivating right now.
Ogre meat is on favorite.
Rule is just dripping down from him, and he's just licking his beak. You know, oh, he's ready. Anticipation.
Just wipe your beak. Just can you be?
What? Oh, I'm leaking. Yeah, okay. he
Yeah,
just wipes it off.
You salivating at them isn't going to make this any better. We're already hard pressed. And Cal will put on the biggest winning smile that he can muster. Do I need a guile for that?
She's the only one armored, by the way, but the others are all armed with various weaponry. The ogres.
What kind of various weapons?
The ogres are armed with large clubs, and the satyrs are armed with iron arming swords.
Ooh. Well,
But
right.
one of the satyrs actually has a copper sword. The other two's iron looks very rough and tumble. Like, it's obvious that this is all salvaged gear that's been salvaged from shipwrecks.
Of course, it's not quality arms. But yeah. So, do I need a guile for
All right, as
winning
they
smile?
approach, you do your you have your smile on, and are you going to try to initiate something?
Yeah, I'm gonna try and talk to him. Let's see.
All right, so let's see how this goes, and then I'll call for a roll depending. All right, so you approach, and about how close do you get before you start dialogue?
I'm gonna shout to them, just kind of a ahoy there, and then just walk up casually.
As you begin to walk up, do you have any grades in insight?
Ooh, actually, let me check one here. Insight, yes, I do actually.
And what about Rockbeak?
Yeah, he does.
Both of you, please make me an insight roll then.
Now it's been it's the grade plus 2d8. Is it plus your presence modifier?
Yeah, your modifier for insight is enlightenment.
Oh yeah, enlightenment. Okay.
7, wait, 18. I got this one.
Right.
Rockbeak got an 11.
So she got a critical fail on
Yes.
her roll to hide her interest in Kel. So
Oh,
as
there
Kel
you go.
walks
Rockbeak knew it. Rockbeak fucking knew it.
she got double ones, and as you walk
Yeah,
up,
baby.
she is a blushing, stuttering mess, like in awe of Kel. As Kel walks up, the most gorgeous man she's probably ever seen in her entire life walks up. She's like jaw literally dropped, like just blushing with even a slight glow on her face. And her sword is dangling at her side, like not even held at battle. She still has is in her hand still, but it's just like drooped down to the side, almost drooling like Rockbeak was looking at them.
I will get to about 20 feet from her, and the smile will not abate. I'll say, "Good morning, my dear. What are you out? You and your boys out for a walk? Can we possibly
We
help you
were
with something?"
looking for slaves that were supposed to have wandered off. You wouldn't happen to have seen anyone, would you?
Slaves. The only wanderers are, I suppose, myself and my companions. But we only found a sea cave a short walk away to hide from the storms. We had not proper shelter, you see. So we did not enjoy being rained upon. And he will punctuate that with this syrupy, just sweet, kind of bat his eyelashes a little bit and smile.
Now you can give a guile roll. Don't forget to add your attractive to it. So +3 from your attractive on top of whatever you already have.
Oh my fucking god, gentlemen! That is
Did you roll
double
double?
eights. Yes.
Oh fuck!
Reroll.
Come here, baby. Yeah.
Rockbeak is just I'm sick and tired of these motherfucking fakes.
I apologize, my love. I am Kel. This is Rockbeak. My companions are off gathering food, as you see that we didn't have any, and we didn't have anyone to report to for provisions, shelter, like I said. And what was your name, my lovely flower?
I am Fita.
Fita. Oh, good, delightful name. But no, aside from us, I believe we are the ones you are looking for. But we were not, indeed, not escaping or laying off. We were just misinformed.
But yeah, what was your total? Like Anir said, just so I know how much you have over on her, because you already critted. I want to see how good of a crit you have. So what was your total? And did you don't forget you roll any 8s. If there's not a 1 and an 8, you re-roll the dice to add to your total. So you'd re-roll both your dice and add that to the total. And you could get double 8s again if you're lucky.
Oh my god! I have not been doing that this entire time.
Oh dang!
Please do it.
Then let me roll again, quick like.
Yep.
Oh, for fuck's sake! All right.
Rafe's been playing on the edge of fire. Basically, he's combining. It's
Yeah.
like
I'm caught between two systems here. All right, here. So, wait, shit, come on now.
Remember, all your totals +3 for attractive, plus whatever your massive bonus from your dice are.
Oh my god! All right. And that goes under presents, correct?
Yep.
Yes.
God, presents.
Plus, do I add my guile there too?
Yes.
41.
Wow. Plus
Alright.
plus your +3 from attractive.
Yeah. So 44.
Oh
then
jeez.
you can re-roll those 2 8s again too.
Yeah.
That is
Okay.
total just dice.
All right.
yeah,
So, did you do you have any forte in guile?
Fortes. Fuck no, I don't.
All
Oh,
right.
shame, I don't. Come on.
All right. So you have critted and boosted 4 times, and
Yeah, she's mine.
yeah.
I'm taking her home with me.
Might as well just try to get married out there. And she's basically your wife.
She's
huh?
putty in your hands. So you were just asking, what was Rockbeak doing?
Rockbeak's gonna tug on Kel and like try to whisper to him. It's like, hey, she's one of the enforcers. You can use, your guile, whatever, like you're
I
doing.
know what we're doing. Just hush. He'll
Okay.
actually close his beak as my eyes have not left her. At this
All right.
time. I'll just
And her eyes have not
absentmindedly
left
reach
you.
down and cover his mouth.
Yes, if please follow us, we'll give you an escort back to the village. We can introduce you to Arwick. He's the leader of the enforcers, and we'll get you all sorted out, and we'll get you a proper working job in the village, and you won't have to worry about living in the wilds like this. It's always nice to have more friends. And she kind of stops and pauses for a moment, and looks you over. And
Of
with a
course.
body such as yours, you could do well as a enforcer, I believe.
Yes, my companion Rockbeak here, I'll kind of like lean on him as if he's certainly my best friend here. We were actually looking to join your ranks in hopes to possibly, coexist with the rest of you and possibly get to know you on possibly a first name basis. And he'll actually just throw a wink in there, just shamelessly.
She'll kind of cringe as she looks at Rockbeak, like, "Oh, why do you have to include him?" type thing, but won't voice her distaste with it because she looks at Rockbeak, then looks back at you and realizes, kind of thinks to herself. You almost get like a vibe of like, yeah, he's worth it.
He's
And
the third wheel, basically. You can bring your ugly friend too. Rockbeak is actually eyeballing these ogres too, and he's licking his lip and he's still drooling. So I don't know if I need to roll intimidate or what. These ogres looking mighty
He's
tasty.
basically looking at the ogres like she's looking at Kel. So I mean,
One thing I do want to put in here, I'm actually going to make sure that they leave first, and we are going to follow them.
all right, and
There-
Rockbeak,
I'm-
you can make an intimidate if you want to. By the way, you're asking about that. Did you want to make an intimidate?
21.
Oh, nice.
Eyeballing them ogres.
Those ogres actually back away as they see Rockbeak eyeballing them, and like you have her in the putty of your hand, and these ogres are terrified of Rockbeak. So you guys are just going. You're making up for your companion's terrible roles already, and yeah. So she's putty in your hands, and if you want to ask basically almost anything of her, you think you could get away with it.
I am going to just pause right here. Jono, out of character,
Hmm?
is Anir within, like, I'm not gonna shout, I'm not gonna say anything, but can I catch her eye, do you think, if she's in the underbrush?
Yeah, well, if you have a good perception, you might be able to see me. But like, yeah, I rolled 12 for my stealth, so like you could probably
Yeah, and
see me.
surprisingly, none of these people have noticed any of you. Not even like Daw.
Not even Da.
No,
Oh,
none
shit.
of you. They are like they rolled horrible on all their rolls. So yeah,
They're
they don't.
distracted. Bitch.
Yeah.
Just never mind them. So what I'm gonna do here is perception. All right, that is okay. That's a 17.
Easy, yeah, you see me.
I'm gonna make sure that the guard troop here, their backs are turned, and actually, you know what? Is Kel gonna do it? Oh fuck, he's gonna do it. He's gonna catch Anir's eye and
Don't do it.
yeah, no. This actually might come to a very horrible shock for at least for Anir, but he'll actually give her a Mihangi hunting party sign language, like just keep up with us. I've got this covered. Just
Okay,
kind of a
yep.
barrage of hand signal, and Kel will just stop for a moment, blink. You look down at his hand. His hand's actually shaking like he's having a PTSD episode, and his eyes go really wide. He just makes a fist. You look back at Anir, and he will just march along the beach, keeping up with them, not saying a word.
And I look
what
at
will
it.
the rest of you? Alright, yeah, go ahead.
I turn and
What's that, Jonah?
yeah, I turn and look over to Relia. I see that, and You see me from the distance nod as I then slink back into the shadows of the underbrush, and I turn to Relia and I say, "We are going on a hunt. This way." And I slowly begin to follow the group.
Try my best to keep up with you.
Yeah, it's really slow. So now I'm helping you, sort of guiding you very slowly, because they're not moving very quickly down the beach.
In the meantime,
Thank
on our
goodness
way
for
back
that.
to the village, I am going to be kind of shooting the shit and as well as flirting with Fita the whole time as we get back.
Make me a diplomacy roll so I can just see how much the guards like you.
Diplomacy? Aw, son of a bitch. It's the one thing I don't have grades in.
So that's a -4 total to your roll because
yeah,
of ogre.
that's a
But man, you better believe ogres and say is gonna find this guy attractive, 100%. So plus 2 for that.
Oh my.
Can I have a +2 flame tender?
Yeah,
Plus
go ahead.
3, yeah,
Go ahead,
man.
plus
Okay.
3 for
All right.
attractive.
100%, man.
All right,
I didn't want to say
they
anything
think that
until.
you're pleasant enough. You know, they're not like head over heels with you like she is, but they're like, this guy's all right. He's not bad.
He's a
you know-
likable dude.
Yeah, and she'll definitely be even lagging behind her guards if you're lagging behind, because she wants to be at your side. Like she's like basically swooning over you, and she'll like literally be putting herself between you and Rockbeak, trying to like with the body language you can kind of tell she's trying to isolate Rockbeak, like kind of.
Rockbeak will just poke his neck out, look at her like, "Bitch, who do you think you are?" Kind of.
And also, if Rockbeak comes near these ogres, they will move. Like, keep a good 3 feet away from him at all times. If he moves towards them, they move away.
Rockbeak is like the dog at a friend's house that you never met before. They say he's nice, but he's giving you that look. So he's like at the ogre's heels, keeping them in check. They may like hear like a little gurgle and lick his beak every now and again. So they're up there. He's keeping them up there.
No, you know what? Kel will be as bold as he possibly can, and he'll, as soon as we actually are entering the village, I'm gonna see about snaking my arm around her waist
And by the way, when you're entering the village, it is just getting to be like the sun's just going down to give you a visual.
Lovely day for it, of course.
Okay, do I make an athletics check to keep up?
They're moving relatively slow. Like she's taking her time, wanting to spend as much time as possible with Kel. So,
But 7 move speed slow.
yeah, I guess, yeah. Go ahead and make an athletics check to try to keep up.
Alright. 8. Nice. 18 on dice. Plus so that's a 17 total.
Perfect. That is her exact speed, by the way. So, so you can keep up with them. And you're pushing yourself. You barely do it. You got like just what you needed.
Yeah.
So you're exerting yourself, but you're doing
100%.
it.
Fucking sprinting.
I mean, but everybody else, it looks like you're just like speed walking, basically.
Yeah.
He's sweating like sap. Like, oh fuck.
And as you put your arm around her waist, she like timidly looks away from you, which this is not how Freying women normally act. Like you've like completely just tore her down. Basically, she's putty in your hands at this part. Most of the time, Freying women are the assertive ones, but you have just wooed her completely. And
I have spent too much time in the lands of human, my dear. I apologize. It was not wanting to make you uncomfortable. He'll retract his hands.
And as you go to retract your hand, she'll put her hand on it, and she's like, "Please, if you would with me, you've been sleeping in a cave. I'd like to give you somewhere proper to sleep tonight."
Oh.
And she
I-
looks over.
You see Rockbeak just shake his head. He's ahead of you guys, but he heard it and he's just shaking his head.
I can see that. I'm back. I'm just gonna smile. Have you ever slept in a sea cave? They are so dreadfully cold.
I assure you, the village is quite warm.
Oh, excellent. Well,
But
I
before
will,
I'm getting ahead of myself. Yes, we need to introduce you to Arwood and talk about your position with the enforcers. Or
yes,
would you
of
like
course.
to do that?
Business first, my love.
All right, then she takes you like literally just starts holding your hand at this point, and
I follow.
and then she's holding your hand, and it's not just like in a dragging way. It's like almost like in a romantic hand holding type fashion. And Rockbeak, these ogres have, since you've arrived at the village, they have scattered to the corners of the village to get as far away from you as possible. Like they're not like an escort anymore. It is just you, Kel, and her now walking through the streets of the village.
As they're going away, I'm like, hey, where you going, buddy? You don't want to stay for a while?
What language do you say that in?
I say in Desdays, I guess.
They don't respond,
I
but they
chuckle
just
at 'em.
they just like speed walk away. And
I'm
as
gonna test something out here quick. I'm gonna ask Rockbeak in Thuban. I'm gonna say, what do you think of joining the enforcers? I obviously know what Rockbeak's opinion is, but I'm trying to figure out if she speaks Thuban.
and as you say that, she was like, "What was that, dear? I didn't quite catch it."
Oh, you speak the Dracoid tongue as well? Oh.
Oh, that's what you were doing. I was wondering why it sounded mumbled. No, I don't speak that tongue. My
Oh.
father-
I say in Thuban, yeah, you're gonna plow this whore good, aren't you? Little, little whore
He'll,
here.
he will grin from ear to ear, and I'll kind of like give him a kind of husky whisper. I want you to find those ogres. Follow them, would you? I'm gonna go take care of this, and I'll put in a good word for you. All right?
Yeah, what you want me to do when I find them? Are we trying to make good? Are we trying to make nice and get in with these enforcers, or am I gonna start slaughtering people?
I want you to find out where they sleep, and I'll give you an evil wink. But we're playing nice for now.
All right.
Please, I apologize. Rockbeak he's a bit he's a bit simple, but he is wonderful company.
If you insist.
Oh, don't mind that pit in the other side of his head where his other eye used to be. He is the most handsome of Chthon you will ever meet.
I look at the fraying woman. I just look at her. I smile. Chthon smile. And I'm like, I'm gonna enjoy killing you and all your friends and eating you alive. It's just gonna be amazing. Thuban.
Yes, I was
It is a
making
Thuban.
sure.
I smile at her when I say that, and I just nod and I start walking off.
It's like, she kind of whispers a little bit to Kel. It's like, "Did you take his eye for disobeying you?"
Oh, he is.
He stopped. He hears that. Does he hear that?
Make a listen check. She is whispering.
Oh shit. Oh fuck.
And then
Oh,
right
man.
after this, the rest of the party will have arrived just behind you, and they can we'll go right to their scene right after this Rockbeak.
Wait, is it a
I'll,
perception check? Listen.
Yes, perception.
Okay. Yeah.
I
That's
will
7, so I probably didn't hear it.
So yeah, you certainly heard her whisper something in my ear, but I'll return and whisper. No, actually, it was a long time ago. We were playing a game of dice in a harbor, and it was actually the day that Rockbeak and I met many cycles ago, and I will launch into this tale of my regaling her with how wonderful I am and how great Rockbeak is, and I'll just kind of like coax her along.
You'll get the understanding she thinks Rockbeak is your slave.
Yeah,
So
since
do you want to
Rockbeak-
correct that?
Rockbeak
I-
didn't hear her say, take his eye out for misbehaving or whatever. So I mean, he heard her whisper, but he didn't hear what she said. So he just keeps waddling, and he's just imagining in his head, you know, the scenario of eating everybody and killing everybody and having a revolution and burning everything to the ground. Waddling off. He's letting Kel do his weird, you know, mammalian mating thing or whatever. And he's gonna just go off.
So will you correct this misinterpretation, or will you just let her believe that?
No, I'm gonna play up the fact that someone else took his eye and I saved him because we're friends, that kind of thing.
All right, make a guile roll for me then, also adding your attractive to it.
Oh, all right. That is a 16.
I mean, couldn't Kel just pull his dick out and like pass all his rolls?
Wow, that is pretty. So he could.
You keep her interest. It's not like she doesn't like completely like she might be a little bit skeptical at times. But at the same time, she's like, well, he doesn't really have a reason to lie to me. So she's interested in what you're saying. She doesn't blatantly disbelieve you. And some of the more crazy parts of your story kind of like start to lose a little bit of interest, but then you pull it back and you know you keep it a good you think most of it gets through, and she definitely believes most of it, and it makes her like you a little more than she already does.
Also, can Rockbeak follow these ogres easily, or am I gonna make like an outdoorsman check to track him or something?
But we'll get to that in a minute. So now we're gonna get to the rest of the party just coming in, and you guys can take it away with how you enter the village.
Okay, so I'm still sort of following along stealthily, quietly, not been seen by the group. I see. Here we go. Hello, can you hear me? I'm back.
Yes, I can.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So I skulk through the shadows, seeing the group has split up. Kel has gone on one side. Rockbeak is heading towards where it looks like the group has gone. I'm thinking the hunt is still on. It's been a whole day of walking, but yeah, I'm going to be following towards keeping an eye on Rockbeak. I think they've split up the group. So yeah, I'll be
follow Rockbeak?
Yeah, I'll be staying hidden, following Rockbeak, because I think he's heading towards where the group is, and I think he's gonna go there and eat them, and I think that's what's gonna happen here. So I'm sort of still in a predatory sort of mode.
I'm just following.
And the rest of you, are you going to follow Anir, or are you going to go off in a different direction?
I'm just following in here.
If everybody else is going that way, I'll go that way.
Alright, so I'm not sure what Dom would be thinking right now, but I do want to point out they just went to the city that he heard Rockbeak say the Enforcers are headquartered in. They're in this small village that's supposed to be the Enforcers' headquarters right now. So,
Dude, I don't have anywhere else.
Alright. I just wanted to make sure you knew that.
Yeah. I'm fucking terrified, but I've got nowhere else to go. So I'm just like.
I'm guessing it doesn't take much insight to understand what Kel is doing with the woman.
No, not her reaction. She rolled double ones on showing her intentions, so yeah.
So yeah.
And with that, we will have Rockbeak make a stealth roll to try to trail one of the ogres.
Right, you guys ready for this? Alright, here we go.
Go ahead, man.
Hey, can we be ready though?
Oh shit, I got a 5!
Oh wow.
Explosion. That's with an explosion.
Yeah, with an explosion I got a 5. It's negative 14 to my stealth. So.
Wow.
And they got a 7. Alright, so as you're trailing this one ogre, he stops and turns around, and he like sees Rockbeak. Like he hears your heavy clanking of your feet against the ground and the rattling of your shell and stuff. And you turn around, he sees you following him, and he has this face of utter fear. The Rockbeak stalking him through the street tonight, and he just starts running.
What's his speed?
His speed is a 14.
I'm faster than him. I catch up. I keep up with him. I got 16.
Alright.
16 speed.
Alright, very good.
That's enough to make a roll. Alright, so go ahead and roll.
So athletics roll.
yeah.
I think we're all reaction because I'm gonna start hurling stones now because I'm thinking now we're ambushing them. So-
Well, if you see, I'm Rockbeak smiling.
I see you running. I see you chasing after him. He's running away. I'm thinking now we go. Go.
But Rockbeak's chasing him, but he's not like doesn't have that look in his eye like he's gonna kill him. He's smiling, and he's doing a leisurely run. I mean, he's not like he's gonna catch up to him.
Kind of like almost playing with him.
Basically, like, but then again, you could be like, oh, he's playing with his food, But he's taking
Yeah.
oh, you fucking ogre.
Oh my god, that's scarier actually.
50-50.
So that'll be my athletics plus my strength modifier for rolls.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna catch this motherfucker unless I roll horribly. That's 15 athletics.
He got a 20 and an explosion and a
Oh.
7. He got two
Son of
7s
a-
and an 8.
He is gone.
got
He
I
is
mean,
so
so
dead.
he dives into that primal urge and just effing
He is
disbelieves.
probably shitting himself right now. He's probably just like, oh.
Congratulations.
He is
just
gone. He literally books it. There's somebody in front of him. He plows them to the ground with his massive 400-pound ogre body. They're broken on the ground now as he tramples them, and he just keeps going. He runs, flips some guy's wheelbarrow over filled with cabbages. That's like trying to cross the street from one of the farms, and they just
Okay,
and he
the
just
guy,
he's
that, the
running
guy
straight.
that he runs into and breaks. I'll go over there and start looting him.
All right,
All right.
he is
Attaboy.
in almost as much tatters as you are, but he has no weapons on him at all because in the village only enforcers are allowed to carry weapons, as you learned earlier. But he does have a small amount of food on him in the form. It's a fraying man, and he does have a small amount of food on him in the form of some exotic fruits.
I don't need that, but I'll kneel down to him and I'll talk to him in Dazazese. Like, hey
He's
buddy,
out
you just
cold.
he's out, but is he dead?
No, he's still awake. He's still alive, but he's got rammed by a 400-pound battering ram and thrown to the ground. He's out.
Alright. Okay. Well, then I guess I waddle over there and grab some cabbage from the cart. Grab like
The
an
guy,
armload
that
of
guy
cabbage.
is like trying to put his cabbage back into
I
his
grab an
little-
armload of it.
and it's a satyr, and he starts screaming at you in this form.
I look at him and I'm gonna use intimidate on him.
All right, go ahead.
So I'm pretty decently confused
16.
watching all this. By the way, I'm not sure how Tanya feels about it, but very deeply.
How many people are in the scene, Alan? Right now, next to Rockbeak.
There are not a lot because it is getting to be nighttime. Most people have returned from their work or are returning. The streets are not crowded by any means, but there are probably 5-6 people on the street that moved out of this ogre's path. And one of them right now, Rockbeak, is blatantly robbing as he's stealing all of his cabbages. And
Yes, I
what
see
he-
I
that.
don't think I can carry all the
Is-
cabbages. I think that armload of cabbages. I don't think I can carry the whole wagon load. I just pick up
I mean,
the
he has
cabbages.
So there's a satyr that's like yelling, running his mouth at him, right?
Yes. Rutland,
I
would you
throw a
speak?
rock at the satyr.
I speak Dazazese, Thub, and
I throw a rock at the satyr, man.
All right.
Get
Just
him.
go ahead and make the roll. Go ahead.
Okay. I think he's attacking him. So like this is. We were meant to go kill people, and they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna go. We're hunting." And now, I see Rockbeak stealing cabbages. All right, that's gonna be a 17 to hit the satyr.
He's dead.
Oh my God.
Oh,
If you
man.
intended to kill him, you did. He is just an extra. And if you wanted him dead, he is dead.
So okay, so what happens is a huge boulder from the brush hurls itself like a catapult into the back, right down the middle of this thing's back into solar plexus. The satyr, he's coming up to you. He's chastising you for perhaps stealing cabbages from his best friend. He then gets knocked down. His head slams into the ground as something heavy hits him, and he wheezes there. He's still trembling, still moving, still shivering, but now he's on the floor. Something just is dug into his back, and a huge red welt is now growing where his back used to be. He's still alive, and there's a huge
Rockbeak
boulder
looks around.
a huge
What
boulder
the
just
night-
rolls
what
across.
the hell was that?
As there's silence, an eerie, creepy silence, as the satyr is now groaning.
The streets are quickly vacated with rampaging ogre, a marauding, thieving Chthon, and rocks flying from
Yeah.
the wood. The streets are quickly vacated by its remaining pedestrians.
Rockbeak is gonna get the wagon upright, put all the cabbages back in it, and then put the satyr on it. Start reeling back to where he saw Kel. And while he's walking, he'll be nibbling on the satyr's like little hoof meat. And
This
he's just like,
satyr is still alive but paralyzed. And
oh, he's still alive.
yeah, but
He's
he's
still
paralyzed.
alive.
You could, if you're eating him, you are eating him alive right now. while he's
I didn't know.
paralyzed.
Okay, I take a bite out of his leg without him knowing, without me knowing. I mean, is there any way for me to tell that he's still? Is he breathing? Like I can see him breathing?
Yeah.
Shaking a little bit. He's moving, but
Okay, so I get him on the wagon with the cabbages. I move a little bit. I take a bite out of him, and then as I'm just like, it's just just blood and gore on my beak. I look down. I'm like, oh, he's breathing.
Is the
I walk over to him like, oh, hey, buddy. I don't know.
Chain.
You got some bad luck, buddy, falling rocks from the skies and whatnot. But don't worry, I'll help you. Let's go over there and I tear his throat out.
and you rip his throat out, and this satyr meat is like the most delicious substance you've had in chains. Maybe
All right. I don't know who's in the earshot, but you hear. As this, he starts just eating it. He loses all sense of anything, and he's in euphoria. You even see he's aroused. You see he's aroused. And he starts eating this. He's just eating this satyr. I mean, all over, just eating it, just like ravenous. It's fearful actually. It's pretty frightful. He's eating. It's like a Miyagi just swarming so like somebody. He's eating the fuck out of it. And you just hear him every now and again, just this cry of ecstasy.
Rockbeak, get off the street.
I'm probably gonna make a perception to even hear that. He's said in such euphoric ecstasy.
All right, go ahead.
He it's gonna be bad.
Oh, fuck.
Okay, it's a 13, so he might hear it.
Get off the
Um,
streets.
Yeah, I'll say you hear him.
Hey, what is that?
You
He
see
kinda,
Aeneas.
like, kinda-
Aeneas
kinda
pops out.
He kind of guards the body like he's my food.
Aeneas pops behind a tree with Aurelia. Get out of the streets.
Oh, hey, Nia, you want some? Oh, and he starts wheeling it over there quickly in the wheelbarrow. Hey, what you guys doing over here? I got some
What are
cabbages
you
for
doing? And what is this?
You
Point at the
see
safe.
that? Isn't it the damnedest thing? It's just raining rocks in this fucking island.
It looks like I'm commencing some sort of raid. Are we still fighting?
Oh yeah, no. Oh yeah. Kel did his weird mammalian mating thing, and the other Freyine lady, we're gonna talk to the enforcers, and we're gonna get in good with them, and then we're gonna, make them think we're their friends, and then we're gonna kill them all. So yeah, no, we're good right now. I was just supposed to be following that ogre, but then he got scared and ran off, and I'm not gonna leave a good satyr there to die. I mean, I want to eat him. I got some cabbages for everybody, so I'm like, hey, it's a win-win for everybody. So yeah, no, we're all good. You just dig in. He just takes a chunk out of the satyr and kind of holds up, a cabbage to you guys.
The cabbages are covered in blood. at this
But then he's
point.
like, through the mouthful, like, oh yeah, watch out for the. Yeah, you better watch out for the fallen rocks. I don't know what's going on this island.
Okay, so after I recover from
character,
that,
I'm very upset that I wasn't present, but in character, yeah, we're a bit preoccupied.
yeah, what's going on with we'll switch over to his scene maybe. Like, what's going on with
Yeah. All right.
Just before that scene ends, Dar comes like wheezing up like, what the fuck?
Hey, what's wrong there, big fella? You look kind of winded.
Alright, I'm done.
And then we go back to Kel as she leads you to a large building that is looks to be constructed like properly, like a proper building rather than a shanty shack, like almost everything else you've seen in this whole place. It looks like this is properly constructed, albeit from fallen lumber, but still it looks sturdy enough, and it is rather large, not quite 2 stories, but accommodating of an ogre. And
Okay.
she leads you in, and as you go in, you see there is an ogre sitting on a large stone with another large stone right in front of him with a human female at his side. She stands about 5'7" with long wavy brown hair, brown eyes, and pale skin, and a scar over her left eye. And then he is the same ogre, Alwick Oris, as he is known, the sheriff of the island, standing 9 feet tall, 500 pounds, with deep red skin, and he sits on this rock as he feasts upon a fintu, a delicacy to the sirens of the island, a strange possum frog hybrid creature. He feasts on this thing with the human woman standing at his side. They appear to have been in a conversation before you walked in, and she instantly just looks down and bows to him, not like taking a knee, but just like a bow. Sir, I brought a new potential recruit. His name is Kel. He is a strong warrior and has regaled me with many tales of his heroic antics before being accosted by the sirens, much like ourselves. And he'll stop eating, stand up. Oh, another flower boy. This one's bigger than the others. Much bigger. He walks over to you and looks down on you. Basically, the only time you've really ever had somebody look down on you on this island so far.
Yeah. I like him. He's the only guy I got a look up at.
He kind of squints at you and bends over.
You'll find that this flower fae has teeth, big man.
I like it. You got guts.
Oh, I've got plenty where that came from. Good evening.
He's gonna rearrange his guts in a second.
Oh, he can try.
And why should I include you amongst the enforcers when there's thousands of prisoners on this island who want that position? Hmm? He kind of pokes you with his massive finger that's almost the size of your hand, how fat and large it is, and he pokes you in the chest with it.
I'll actually let him touch me. I'll look down at his finger, and I'll slowly, my gray eyes will actually come back to meet his. I can guarantee you that if you decline to enlist me, you will be missing out on an opportunity. You've not had an individual such as myself, or as my fierce companion who will be arriving shortly.
Talk is cheap, flower man.
Would you like me to prove it to you? Give me a Khopesh, I'll show you.
You want to join? You do something for us first, then prove your worth.
Oh, really?
Trial.
I'm listening.
Someone been out in the woods taking people. You find out who that someone is. You bring them back to me. We make you and your friend enforcers. Prove yourself good enforcers.
Do they have to be alive?
Yeah. I need to make sure that they're really the person taking them and you just didn't kill some guy on the street. I ain't that dumb.
I would never assume such a thing. An honorable ogre as yourself and I'll throw in a little bit of a sarcastic tone, kind of a not so much an eat shit and die kind of expression that comes over on my face, but yeah, all right, I don't sweat you, nah. I'm having this contest of bravado with him. Can you give me a description of this wayward thief?
If I knew who they were, I would have killed them already. We don't know. People just keep disappearing on the edge of the village. They ain't been this. We've been here for cycles, dozens of cycles. Nothing like this before. It ain't no animal.
That tiger man who is the trader in the village, he seems quite shifty, and he was eyeing the small one of my number. Perhaps the cat has been taking some of your smaller forces.
You find out, bring him to me if he is then. If you can. He might tear you to pieces, little flower.
He can certainly try. Do I get any implements of or to aid me in this task, or are you just going to send me out with my fists and a rock?
If
We're
you
not
were,
Come on, come now.
if you're as strong as you say you are, should be no problem.
I'll just smile. Sit yourself. Do I have a date that this body is due?
Before someone else finds him. Many of the enforcers are out looking for him now. Have been for chains. Someone probably has a better lead than you already. Better hurry. Big bounty.
Fair enough. I look at Theta. Is that how you do business on this island? No information and go find me somebody I have no name, face
This,
for.
she kind of like pulls you like off to the side. But we'll get right to it. Oh, look. And she takes you outside. And we don't know anything about the person. All we know is that people from the villages and outlying farms have started disappearing. We don't know anything so far. No one's been able to find a trace of them.
How long has this been happening?
Maybe just over a chain, almost two.
You have been here for cycles, and people start disappearing after a chain, and you still know nothing. I am appalled by the disorganization of the organization.
Yes, the enforcers have been laxed for some time now.
When was the last time who disappeared last, and disappeared from where?
About a chain ago, one of the disappearances was a local madman. He disappeared after venturing into the woods. He was some strange creature the likes I've never seen before. Like a
He was a strange
bird-like
creature.
thing. He was one of the most recent disappearances. After him, a Seta farmer disappeared from the Bandor farm. It's the large farm, the only real farm in the village. You've probably seen it if you've spent any time in the village.
Yes, I know which one you speak of.
And that's the most recent disappearance. And the very first disappearance was of a Frayne hunter who ventured into the jungle to try to find Fintu meat, and they never returned. An experienced hunter who had killed many boars before, so I'm sure they didn't get surprised by any beast out in the wild.
Do you know where this hunter went to go hunting? Where was his hunting ground? Was his range? I need places.
She always left towards the volcano, but never told anyone where she was going, claimed to have found a Fintu breeding ground.
An experienced hunter not telling anyone where she's going. Stupid girl.
It was greed, not stupidity. If she had told them, then more Fintus would be found, and she would have gotten less.
Fair enough. We'll go find Rockbeak. We should know.
Yes, well, where is your little companion?
I left him in the village. He is quite he's quite a drinker. He's quite a rabble rouser, so he might taunting somebody or accosting them somehow. But he is quite hard. I assure you. I'll wink, and there will be a feeling behind that wink of completely lying. He's a piece of shit.
She like has a faint smile appears on her face as she says, "Well, if you think he can handle himself, would you like to retire for the night?"
I assume that I'm going to be spending the evening with you then, my dear.
As you don't have a house here, it would be my honor to let you stay with me until you can become a full enforcer.
Well, let us go for a walk in the village. I will find my companions. I will update them to where I will be staying, and then can retire for the evening. How about that?
That is fine. I'll show you to my place and then let you find your friends.
And then I will meet you there sometime later.
And then she'll show you off to a modest shanty hut, basically a normal size around here, made with shipped debris and whatnot, very shoddily put together like most of the huts, and let you be off. And then while Kel's doing this, we'll switch back over to Ba, just coming in exhausted, sprinting up to a dead satyr and a wagon of blood-covered cabbages.
Beautiful.
So, Daw, take it away. You just showed up. What do you want to say about this dead satyr just sitting there on top of all these cabbages?
You're muted. If you're muted.
Yeah, you're muted if you're talking.
Ground control to Major Phil.
We can't hear you, man.
I
We
see
lost
your
you.
icon lighting up, but you're not talking. I don't know. All right, well, he's
Alright,
gone.
you're back.
I will just assume he's out of breath right now, and you guys can take it away.
Yep.
So what I'll do is, before we switch scenes, I'll comment on her, I'm using air quotes, modest hovel here. And I say, well, did you build this yourself? It is of wonderful construction for this island.
I'm not a builder. The enforcers have people who build houses for each of our members. It's one of the
so they have carpenter builders. I see. Well, I bid you a good evening. I will come and see you in a handful of hours.
I'll be looking forward to it.
I'll take her hand. I'll actually I'll kiss her hand very low before I leave. He's laying it on real thick. Do I need a guile roll?
Go ahead and give me a guile roll.
Oh, brutal. That is a 22.
All right. One.
Get
Right, yep,
flooded in a
you
tidal
got
wave.
her. You got her again with one boost on it. Like literally, she's just like completely putty in Kill's hands right now. Like anything he says or does to her has her blushing or looking away, and just literally, he just owns her heart right now.
I bid you a good evening, my dear. I will be back. And with that, I'll turn on my heel and walk away, giving her a rather wonderful view of my muscular golden back there.
And Phil, are you back with us now?
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Phil. Come
Damn
on,
it,
man.
Phil, speak.
We need you.
I'll point one thing out while we wait for Phil is that Kel would also notice she does have a copper cutlass herself if he wanted to try to persuade her to part with that. He's been having very good luck with her so far, but I'm not sure if he wants to push his luck that far. But it might be a thought that crossed his mind.
No, he's not stupid. No. I'm gonna. My first objective is to find the rest of my companions.
All right, so
Oh wait.
All right.
I can hear
So-
people. Yes, again. Yes.
Yes.
Sorry.
There it is.
all right, so we're gonna
Mine,
switch back over to the scene with Phil running up, Dahl running up out of breath to a dead satyr and a blood-covered cabbage wagon, and take it away, Phil.
In character voice, what is going on?
Rockbeak is just covered in blood. I've got a rock in my hand, and there's a dead satyr on the wagon.
Well, it's the funniest damn thing. This satyr got trampled by this ogre, so of course I couldn't just let good meat go to waste. And then, then another satyr. And then he killed this other. I don't know what's going on. Anyways, we got some cabbage and I got a satyr, so we're good for the night, right? Oh, and watch out! There's raining fucking rocks from the sky. I don't know what's going on.
That was me. And what? This thing was not attacking you.
What? No. I was just gonna go pick up some of the cabbage there and take some, and he was just doing his blah 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 blah. I don't know what he was saying. And then rocks just fell down from. That was you? Oh, well, that was a pretty good aim.
Confused.
So am I.
Okay, well,
What happened? What is the plan then? I saw from Kale he made the sign to make the hunt. And then I see you split,
okay,
and then
okay. Just everybody calm down. Take a minute to breathe. Okay, that's what's going on. Kel's gonna make his mate and stuff with the other Freyine lady, and we're gonna get in. He's gonna put in good words for us. Me and him are gonna join the enforcers, and we're gonna make them think that we're their friends, and then we'll gain their trust, find out where our gear is, start killing them all.
The enforcers?
Yeah, that's what they're called. The leader is this ogre guy, and Kel's little friend is gonna take him to see the ogre guy, and then they're gonna put a good in word for us, and then we're gonna be friends with them, and we're gonna make them believe we're friends, and then we're gonna go in there and find our gear, and then we're probably just gonna kill them, and maybe arm the civilians, have everybody do a rebellion, burn their place to the ground, piss all over everybody's corpse, and when the sirens come, we'll kill them all, take the ship, and get the fuck out of here. For right now, we're just chilling. We're waiting for Kel, and then we'll make a move. I suggest you eat some cabbage, pretty good cabbage, before it goes all rot.
I look at the cabbage. I have one skill in culinary. Is it safe to eat?
It's freshly harvested cabbage, and it's covered in satyr blood. But aside from that, it looks fresh. It's not rotted or moldy or nothing. It's just cabbage.
Oh yeah, my apologies, ladies. He goes over there and starts trying to wipe some of the blood off the cabbage, but just kind of smears it in there and all that. I try to get this off for you. I know you can't eat this stuff. I'm just trying to. He's very futilely trying to get the blood off, and he's just making it worse.
Oh god.
and you're saying Kel will be back.
He'll be back sometime, I imagine. Probably just go back where I left him, and we'll probably meet us there.
I'm just gonna say again, we should hide.
Nah, come on, buddy. It'll be all right. Here, have some cabbage. What was that, little girl?
Don't you think you'd be in trouble? They'll think you as a murderer, and they would be wrong.
Hey, man. I got witnesses that saw the ogre kill the guy. I put him out of his misery. I did him a favor. I'm not letting good meat go to waste. If anybody wants to have a problem with it, then tell them, come fight me, bitch.
And aren't they our enemies? Aren't they the ones who brought us here and are keeping us here?
Yeah, but listen. We're gonna trick them. We're gonna pretend to be their friends, right? Like I said. And then once we're their friends and they all put their guard down, we're gonna fuck them and kill them and eat them and pee on them and burn the whole place down and arm the villages. Then we're gonna kill the siren, take the boat, get the fuck out of here, right? Okay.
But where are we going to get this bolt you speak of?
Evening, my friends.
Oh, no, there.
Kel appears.
he just walks up and with this enormous grin on his face. How are we all? He'll actually lean down and he'll put his two enormous gold hands on either side of Rockbeak's face, and he will kiss him full on the beak.
Oh.
Oh.
Hey.
I mean, it is on.
Hey, what are you doing? It's my food.
It's
No,
got blood and
no.
shit on it.
And
Define
Kel's got
kiss.
his face. No, he's got a. Well, I'm not
Okay,
scratching
define
his
kiss.
neck. We'll put it that way.
Okay, you're not scratching.
Rockbeak has
okay,
no
right.
clue what you're doing. He's like, what is this?
I'll do it a rather obnoxious, like, mwah! There we go.
Are
Today
you trying to steal my food?
is a wonderful day, ladies and gentlemen.
You'll notice the dead satyr in a wagon full of cabbages as well.
Yeah,
And
I got food for everyone.
I'll actually, and this will actually be very, very uncharacteristic of Kel, as he's in an amazing mood today, and he's actually he's got a bounce in his stride, even more so than he usually does, and he never smiles much. And anyone who's actually perceiving his outward emotions, his presence, his aura, his face actually might start to glow, which would be the first time that you'll actually see this here.
Wow.
Ket
Piece of shit.
will actually lick his lip a little bit, that satyr blood, and he'll look down at the satyr in the cart. Look down at Rockbeak. Is this your kill, Kel? Rockbeak?
Well, that ogre I was trying to track, he saw me, and then he ran like a coward, and he knocked this poor man, well, not this man, that man over there. He knocked him down, and then boulder rained from the sky and fell on this man, but it turns out it was really Anir, and he wasn't dead, he was paralyzed, so I did him a favor and killed him, and then I'm eating him.
I'll shoot a look over at Anir with that winning smile, a very handsome, now blood-caked smile, and it's like, this is a wonderful shot. He'll actually walk over to the satyr and just kind of look down at this corpse with a very unholy interest in this corpse. The ogre ran like a coward, you said.
Oh yeah, he was scared shitless of me.
Oh, of course, look at you. And no, and he'll just kind of wipe blood from his mouth and say, we have a job from the Enforcer. We have to find some cunt hiding in the jungle. Some people have been going missing, and this has been happening a chain and some days, and they still know these Enforcer types, this militia here, they're dumber than a fucking tree. I swear to God, and by all the gods, the old and the new, we need to leave this place. And he's not being quiet at all.
I beg you, pardon?
You bloody heard me, tree. Now, dumb as a stump. Now, to find these people, they will give our gear back. And then, you'll look at Rockbeak. I have someone very large, very red, and very, very stupid for you to eat. So long as we can keep our... and find whoever this hiding cunt abducting somebody in forest. Amir, this is coming. My dear, I need to be as savage as we can.
This entire time, as you've been,
Watching Kel,
yeah, and as you've been like speaking and just walked in and glowing like this, the entire time, Anir has been just looking at you like, wow, like she's also been just drooling over you again, like you've got it today, man. So she's just taken aback. She's been quiet this entire time, kind of looking down at the satyr, looking up at you, like you're licking its blood, and it's like, oh. And then she kind of like gets caught off guard when you ask her, like, what? You want me to find someone?
farmers and killing these enforcers and just these militia. I think that the term enforcer is to conjure some modicum of power that they absolutely do not have. They are thugs and bandits here. We, as in you and I, Nier, need to go looking for somebody.
Someone who has been taking people, and that someone is not Rockbeak. I give him a little, shoot him a glance.
Rockbeak can come with, so he's fucking quiet.
He's not quiet.
When you say his name, he kind of looks at you, and you hear a snap. And one of the satyr's hooves is just bone right now. He's eating it all on one of his legs, and he starts sucking the marrow out. He's just looking at you like, "Oh, you say my name?" He's just sucking marrow out through the bone.
Then he gets to stay here. We're going to find some kind of accommodation here. I'm gonna fuck the shit out of one of the guards, and she's gonna give us a house. That's what's gonna happen here. And just as Rockbeak has stated, we're gonna lay low. Big and I will join the militia, not the enforcers. And when Da growls like that, he just smiles. He grunts. Kel just smiles and just looks at him, like, because the E word really does. I know that really.
Yeah, the E word.
The E word. We don't say that.
I'm just gonna ask. In my character's way of speaking, who do they serve?
They serve
Who?
the. Oh shit, Alan, the shark.
They
fucking
work for
truck
the
people.
sirens.
Thank you. That's the word. Sirens. Thank you. I'm so sorry. They serve the sirens.
Not the Spider Queen.
I have heard of no such reference to a spider or a queen or anything such.
There's a fucking giant spider queen on the island. What the fuck?
Just looking around the town, even though it's at night, but I've seen these people. I'm just gonna roll theology roll for, like, are these people actual enforcers? Because I'm starting to think they're not.
You would have seen that there is no religious symbols anywhere in the village at all. Besides for one particular shack, and you can make me a roll to see if you can know what that one means.
7-6 plus a 3 in theology plus a +4 to intelligence. That is a total of 20.
It has the symbol of Raxol on it, and that is
the pretender to Anthraxu.
that is the only symbol, the only religious symbol you've seen in the entire village.
The enforcers would not let that stand. Like they have no qualms with the guy, but like the laughing god sort of shtick would get really old really quick to a servant of Helena or Olus or Legion or somebody. They'd just be like, yeah, nah, fuck this shit, and just tear it down, because like they want only that. Like particularly Zansora as well. She'd be totally down with just ripping up Raxol and feeding him to Olus. So yeah, I'm starting to feel a little bit more at ease, because I don't think this town. I don't think this is where, like, these people are actual literal enforcers, which is putting me a little bit more at ease.
The Freyine that you were with, she
Yes,
is
her name is Fita.
Theta. She is kind of look for the word. She's claimed you.
My dear, I have wandered this world far and wide. I belong to no one. And there's a tone behind that that's a little bit more threatening than I want it to be. But you respond in character how you wish.
Yeah, I meet your gaze. Is she... And then look over at towards Relia. So she is yours, then.
Attack her.
She is yours, then.
Still just watching kill. I haven't took my.
That remains to be seen. But no one has claimed anyone.
Kind of give you an odd look, but I don't say anything more. So when are we going to be looking for this beast or this person that is stealing away people? And this is what we must do in order to get the Augur to allow us into this Enforcers. Is that right?
Yes, he wants me and possibly yourself and Rockbeak and anyone else who is interested in joining their number to, and air quotes, prove themselves. If we need to prove anything to the likes of him, I very much would be glad if you and Rockbeak ate him at the end of the endeavor.
I see.
I look at Anir like, hey, you eat people too?
I give you a bit of a dangerous look, and then I just raise a hand with his talons, and I kind of like clack them in the air. But okay. I thought the idea was to go to the slug people and ask them to bend a ship of wood. If we go down this road, if we join these Enforcers, what kind of ship? Militia. What kind of ship would we be able to be aboard or find? How we get off this island?
That depends on how well I am able to that we have found.
I see. I'm willing. I say a little bit exasperated.
It'll be a ruse. The ruse that for a short bit of time.
I suppose it should be nice to be able to walk the streets here without being attacked.
Oh, of course not. Especially after today. I'll shoot a look at Rockbeak eating the satyr.
Very fine. In that case, I will start tonight.
Just don't let yourself be spotted.
I won't.
They don't know what this thing is, and I would be most distraught if a predator, this island, be notes to ourselves or them to have a go at you.
Find where one of these missing people have died, I can go there.
Oh
See who
yes.
did-
Excellent.
Yeah, that's not unsettling at all.
No, what's more unsettling is I want some of that satyr now too. You just hand me some. Which Kel actually has this look on his face like, oh shit, did that he quick like covers his mouth like
Rockbeak extends his neck like, what? And looking at him, looks him up and down like, I thought you only ate vegetables there. You've been holding out on me. He goes in there and snaps the other leg off and hands it to him.
You eat meat as well.
Confused.
yeah he'll what exactly part of the leg do you hand me?
I snap it off like below the knee, so you get like his shin, you know, all down to his hoof.
A little bit of shin. They don't have calves.
I don't.
Satyr legs. That's probably a little bit.
I mean, there's probably some meat on them. I don't think they don't have calf muscles. It's just like eating a deer leg, I guess.
Well, flame tender.
It's like eating a goat's leg. I think would be the best representation. The satyrs pretty much have goat legs, so I assume their legs are anatomically correct for goats. So
Yeah.
it's basically a goat leg.
Kel hasn't eaten anything today, and he'll just kind of look at this with a bit of. He's very surprised at himself as his stomach kind of growls. As he's kind of looking at his companions, like, are all of you just gonna watch me eat this? What?
We're all watching
mean,
you.
You ain't
All of
gotta
us
prove
are
yourself to
watching
me,
right now.
buddy. I already know you're a badass. I mean, you can eat the cabbage if you want. You ain't gotta eat the leg.
Would you, like, in character voice, would you like me to cook it?
I think I'd like that. He'll just hand the goat leg back.
Oh no, that takes all the flavor out of it.
Because, like, Da can cook meat. He just doesn't do it very often. Like, he's much better at vegetables.
He'll just kind of lick the blood off the tips of his fingers and
Fucking wincing
Yeah.
over here. Ooh.
very. He has this very unholy look about him when he does it.
Yeah.
And he's
Yeah, I step back from that and like, I need to go. I look flustered. I look like I'm about to just fall over. I'm going to go. I need to go get my things back at the cave. And I just leave. I just leave straight away. I leave straight away.
I call out into Zavian.
Yeah.
Goodbye, friend.
Yeah.
Hey, hey, small little fraying woman there. You should probably go with her. Make sure she's okay.
I will catch up to her. I go over there to the satyr and I look down at Corpse, his face.
Oh, you look down at him, and Rockbeak is moving to his intestines now. He's tore him open. He's throwing all his his bladder and all shit on the ground, get all the nasty shit out of there. And he starts eating his heart, pancreas, and all that other shit.
His face might very well be like frozen in a face of terror. So
Oh, his tongue's probably sticking out like like a dead animal. And he's just
Close
like,
I gently close his eyes for him.
hey, don't worry about that. I'll be eating them soon too. Just go check up on the dead lady.
Fuck me.
And I gently pat the head of Corpse, and I begin to follow after Anir.
It may be difficult because I didn't know you were, unless you're calling after me, I wasn't expecting you to follow, so I go full speed, full forester advantage, kind of just like weaving and ducking and melding through the underbrush, so you
And
probably
it's
know
in
the
middle of
direction.
night, so you
Yeah.
only have the light of the moons to guide you through this jungle.
I reach like the brush the side then I'm afraid I'm not gonna be able to follow.
I mean, she's got her clackers, so she should be all right.
I can't see.
Yeah, it would be very difficult, unless you know the direction, the direction to go, but like you wouldn't be able to follow her, probably, unless you roll for it. Maybe it might get something good.
Breaking up a little bit. Can you hear me fine, or am I?
Hello?
I think I'm lagging.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you. No, like she's Inea's probably like rushing quite quickly. You could probably roll for it, but it would be very difficult to follow her exactly. But you know where she's going, what direction? It's towards the coast and then up the beach. So
Maybe you shouldn't go after her. You know, it's nighttime and all you get predators out there. She can take care of herself, though. You just got your little hands.
I sort of think to myself that it might be better to let her go and have some space to be alone for a little, and I would most likely get lost on the way there anyway. I stay here. And I just wait.
All right, and
I'm gonna ask Cal something too, but he's not here right now. But
so with that, would Daw still hasn't had a chance to give his gifts that he wanted to give. If he'd like to do that soon. Phil, you're muted if you're trying to say something.
I think Rafe might be back. Maybe we'll do the flashback or something. I don't know.
He totally is. He
Oh,
totally
very cool.
is back.
All right, Relly, I was about to say something to you when you got back then, so go ahead and put that out.
All right, go for it. Oh wait, you want me to go first, or it's really a... Oh, there she is.
Not exactly normal, are you? There's something special about you.
Oh, about Kel. Kel.
Oh, excuse me. Oh, you're actually talking to me. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'm just gonna be starting making a fire.
you said there's something special about... Say it again.
You're not exactly normal, are you? There's something special about you.
He's still, kind of licking the blood from the tips of his fingers. As, he kind of turns that very unholy expression on his face. He turns, look Relia in the eye. He goes, I have seen things and experienced horror, and I am changed for it. But I will say no more. The blood kind of trickles a line from his thumb partway down his forearm, and he actually licks that line all the way back up to his thumb.
I'm sort of like gazing at you with the same expression on his face I normally have on.
Flame Tender, are we still standing in the middle?
You guys are like off to the side in the brush a little bit right now.
And what time of day?
This is still nighttime.
He just looks at the rest of his companions. I think we should retire for the evening. I have an appointment I must keep.
My character would have started a fire, rolled a 13. Without Desmond started up.
Alright, so you can get started on cooking that leg, the satyr leg, and...
Yeah. And I'm like, are there any earthen bowls around? Anything similar?
No, nothing right next
Well,
to you.
Kel has one. He has a small stone bowl, like halfway between a plate. He just pulls that out of a very crude grass sack. He drops that on the grass there for him.
Well, I'm gonna be cleaning up cleaning up some of the cat nipples and chopping them finely with the knife which I still haven't given back yet. And making some sort of like cabbage soup.
Where is Rockbeak in all this?
Well, I mean, he's still next to the wagon eating the satyr, so I mean, wherever the wagon is where he's gonna be going. So.
We probably would have pulled the wagon into like a hidden-ish area.
Okay. Kel will wait long enough for the leg to be cooked. He'll be sitting on a log, fallen nearby, just kind of with his face in his hands, just waiting for his food, or air quotes, to be done cooking.
When I give it to you, there's like a short pause, as I'm like looking at like the meat, which I've taken a fillet out of, and then I'm going to say we must talk as I pass the meat over.
He'll take the leg and say, "We'll talk later." And not caring about the heat, he'll just take in his left hand, he'll hold on to the bone, and with his right, he'll dig his fingertips in behind the muscle there that is still left, and like he's peeling a sock off of a sweaty foot, he will rip meat off of just one big fillet, and he'll just start eating it. And he'll shoot
Nice.
this evil look at anyone who's watching him.
And now I roll my culinary to see how shit it is. Oh, damn it! That's actually good.
Oh, you cunt! You tried to poison me. I see how it is.
Yes. It's 16.
Yeah, I'm definitely watching you, by the way.
And I've also given cabbage soup, or some really shitty equivalent to Aurelia. And as I give it to you, I'm gonna you will kind of stop, and then hold like move aside my mask, hold a long wooden tongue finger to my lip, and then cast that ritual again. Expending another point of prana. As I do that, in the middle of my forehead, opening like vertically instead of horizontally, like an eye opens. It looks like kind of like an eye, kind of like a knot in wood, like that sort of this like concentric rings. And yeah, I'm gonna be checking out Aurelia's life force and current disposition.
Go ahead and roll the insight roll again for the
Nice.
motion layer part.
Green. Oops. 24.
Alright, so I'll let Relia go ahead and describe to you the emotions that she's feeling on not only the surface level but also a little deeper. Still not quite piercing into the deepest recesses of the mind, but definitely getting the surface level, and any repressed emotions will be seen by your eye.
Well, on the surface, you can see that there is a fair amount of something like concern and curiosity. Looking deeper, you see a lot of sadness and remorse, some great, very strong regret, sadness, and it seems to be that sadness, regret, abandonment, and loneliness is most prevalent in her mind, and there's some sort of you can see a big disconnect between, well, what she's trying to sort of display, and that kind of shows off in curiosity and concern and a little bit of confusion on the outside compared to emptiness and sadness that's in. And that'll be what you can see. You muted again, by the way.
Yes. Sadness, abandonment, loneliness, and like
And
outwardly, yeah.
a huge amount of regret.
Oh, okay. So regret implies conscious action. And in terms of her soul, is it all there?
All right. In terms of her soul, there is some kind of strange aura. It's not damage and it's not disease or anything like that. But also at the same time, she has like this. She's been touched by something. It's like she's not really a caster type aura. Like you don't recognize her as having mysticism or magic, but there is definitely something.
Well, I wouldn't
beyond
recognize that. This
her.
is,
Yeah.
I literally got this ritual today.
Um, there's something different to what you possess. There's something different than that. It's you can't really discern exactly what it is, but there's something there, and it's not everything is not as it should be. Basically, it's not damaged like Kel, but it's been you'd almost say enhanced with a minor bit of power by something somewhere along
Is-
the line.
Is there a do I roll theology or occult for a elemental?
You can go ahead and roll a theology.
Okay. Oh, it's a critical fail.
All right. You think that she has been touched by the enforcers in some way.
Oh.
You think that she has been blessed by the enforcers.
My the third eye is gonna smack shut, and he's gonna start backing away. Like, I trusted this person and I made a mistake. I played out my hand. No, as he's like trying to get away.
I was looking at Kel for a while when I see you starting to back up. I glance over there at you. Like my head's still turned towards Kel, but I'm glancing over right towards.
Also, in case I didn't say this earlier, I did say the ritual that I did earlier in Dark Side. Just mumbled, not really out loud. Okay, so yeah, I'm trying to just back away and just essentially growling in growling in growling in Dazazian. Betrayer, God spawn murderer, killer of innocence. And I'm gonna roll an intimidate check.
And also, you would particularly maybe associate this with Zost in particular to do with ghost and death in the underworld.
Thanks so much.
You want intimidating it?
1 second. Rolling. Oh yeah. In terms of Zost is one of the better enforcers in terms of she guards graves, which is a decent job to do. She is diametrically opposed to Nogus, and Nogus is not the god that I really serve. So he's not one of the worst ones, but she's still an enforcer. So my intimidate check is a total of 6.
My resistance that's 22.
Yep, I'm not scary at all.
I see. I'm still just my expression is still the same. Nothing. I just don't really show anything at all. I just stare at you. Not too deep.
You are an enforcer. As I scrabble and grab my staff and just and pull myself to my feet, holding it at arm's length. I'm in a guard position to block any attack which is coming.
I visibly look a little sad, and then I sort of look down. So you're scared of me like everyone else who looks too deep.
And there's Dar is really confused. There is a massive disconnect from what he has seen before with the enforcers. He hasn't had much dealings with Zorst, but there's like a big, like Zorstian clergy, or like faithful, and there's like a big disconnect from what he sees in front of him and what he would have like presupposed. So he just kind of is standing there in shock and looking like really confused, and it's just like Zorstia, Grave God, Witcher.
I'm still
As,
just
like, he's-
looking toward the ground.
As he's standing, pointing at you with his staff. Have you come to kill me?
While still staring at the ground, not even looking at you. I was here brought to me brought here against my will, betrayed by my people. The only god I serve, or goddess I serve, is my own, my creator, as it always has been. I can assure you there's nothing I have against you or your friends in any way.
I'm gonna roll an insight check to make sure I'm not being.
Would I have to make a
And,
diplomacy, wouldn't I? I guess that'd be the roll I have to make.
Diplomacy? Oh yeah, no, yeah. You would roll diplomacy. I would roll insight, or like
Or-
guile, I guess. It depends. Are you being truthful with me? Out of character.
Well, I mean, I'm trying to. Yes, I'm being truthful.
Okay. So you roll diplomacy,
All right.
and I rolled a 17.
I got a 13 altogether. So that's a fail, I guess. I think I got. I'm not sure how this works. That'd be a fail. I got on my diplomacy. Or
I don't know what happens if you fail in this check. Flame Tender?
You basically, she's not very convincing,
Okay.
but you want to believe her even though she's not very convincing, so you can take it from there. Like, you're not entirely convinced, but at the same time you kind of want what she's saying to be true, but you're not 100% sure.
I'm gonna go around and sit on the other side of the fire, and then not let go of my staff, and like keep it on me at all times, as I'm like sitting across from her, looking upset.
I'm still not even looking at you. I'm still looking towards the ground and I say, if you would prefer it, I could leave again. And if you don't trust me, I don't
Dar
have
is gonna do his characteristic, kind of like grumble, and then not say anything else.
I gotta ask, how does Rockbeak react to all this unfolding around him?
There's a lot of tension in the air.
Rockbeak's still eating that Seder. It's just, he doesn't really know. They're just talking. He doesn't know what the hell they're talking about.
and Kel's just eating right nearby too. He hears all
He
this
don't-
too.
He don't know about
Oh,
fucking
he's
sauce and all this. He's speaking. I don't know. As far as he knows, they're having some philosophical debate about the gods or something. He's just slurping
Well,
on.
he
Dinners.
did hear Daw accuse her of being an enforcer, like a servant of the enforcers, and he knows how Daw feels about the E word. So
I don't know. At this point, it's like I'm watching my soap. You know, I'm watching my program because at this point, Rockbeak just thinks Daw is paranoid and thinks everybody's enforcers. So now he's just looking to see how this is going to play out. He's just enjoying his meal. It's like a meal in a movie, I guess. I mean, no one's, got aggressive or anything. It's not like he's going to beat somebody. He's got his stick up and like backed away and stuff. But Rockbee's just chilling. He's eating. He's like, "What the fuck is going on? This crazy son of a bitch."
And what would Kel be doing? Is he just listening as well?
Kel is still the absolute nutter that he is. He is eating his leg of satyr, and he's quite content listening to the nonsense coming out of the talking tree, and he's not quite caring what's going on, but he's quite concerned that he's hurt Aurelia's feelings, but he's said nothing. He's just his eyes are just kind of bouncing back and forth between the two.
So I'm just grumbling and looking at the person who I think is an enforcer.
What was that?
I'm just like eyeing down this person who probably isn't an enforcer, but maybe. Like, I don't know. I don't think that she is, but the fact that is like, there's two conflicting things. One, I saw that she had like a silvered soul, like what a servant or Zorsk would have. And on the other side, trusting my emotions, which is part of my faith, and and they are in direct opposition, and so he doesn't really know what to do in this situation. It's kind of eyeing her up and down, and holding judgment to now.
Kel will speak up finally and say, are you finally done berating this between bites of satyr?
I'm going to okay, so Dar is what I just they plucked out my eyes. They burned my blood.
Kind of breaking up a little bit.
Okay. They plucked out my eyes. They burned my grandfather to the ground. They have imprisoned birds.
You're accusing Aurelia of doing these sorts of things. And
They are all this. Yeah,
he'll
just
give Dai a look at you of, are you fucking kidding me? Look at her.
They are all the same, no matter how they sing.
I can't hear anything. I'm having technical issues.
Okay, they are all the same, no matter how they sing. They are evil. They are hateful. So, yeah, he's not having a good time. He's not having a good time at all.
Then, until we have found out what her origin and her affiliation is, I suggest you sit on your stump there and hush up. Have some stew.
He grumbles and he readjusts his hat, puts his mask back on, and yeah, eats the stew, but always keeps one hand on the staff.
Well, this is a lovely evening with the family.
Yeah, that
When
was the biggest double ones I've ever seen.
When Doc grumbles, as he grumbles, Kel actually stands very threateningly and very slowly. He stands, and I mean, if you're still proficient in reading people's auras, he's burning with he's like a funeral pyre of hatred. There's a ball of hellfire standing on the other side of this campfire from you.
As I hear him standing up, by the way, I slightly glance over there toward you, Kel.
No, he doesn't look back at Relia.
Dar freezes in what he's doing. He doesn't have the ritual up currently.
He's not hiding his.
Yeah, I guess yes, yeah.
Okay.
So Dar just kind of freezes. He like kind of shifts his kind of shifts his staff a bit, and like puts his hand towards the middle of like the balance where the staff is. It's essentially like putting your hand near your holster sort of movement.
Okay, that's fine. Kel will take a very, very long moment to respond, but all he says is, if you pick up that quarterstaff, you will not put it down again.
Oh no, he's currently holding it. Like, it's across his lap.
Oh, I know. I mean, as in, pick it up and bring it to bear. It's in his lap. That's fine.
Yeah.
It's currently at rest. Do I need to make an intimidation check there, Flame Tender?
You can. If you're trying to scare him, you very well can.
He's not trying, but he might just anyway. So, for the sake of. Ooh, beautiful. All right.
Hold on, let me get up my dice.
What did you get, Kel? What Kel get?
And it's a -4 penalty if you don't grade.
Yes.
All right, hang on, and it goes off of present.
Yes, presence. An attractive won't help you here.
Oh, of course, no. I'm being the complete opposite of being. After bonuses, that is 28. Bonuses and penalties.
I exploited twice with a 33.
On a side note, I have not touched my soup yet, but I will begin to eat it now.
If this was an anime, there would be lightning going between.
Kel, roll double 8s by any chance?
Yeah, I rolled 2 8s in a row.
What about you, Kel?
I rolled 3 8s.
Ooh, so Dahl, what was your total roll again? Sorry.
A 33.
All right, so yeah, you're able to definitely keep your composure, but it is like, it's not that he's not scary, it's just that even though he's scary, you stand your ground.
Yeah.
Type thing.
We are we are two forces opposing each other, keeping the other in check is what's happening socially here.
Yeah, like the air is electric over this little campfire. Like shit's tense.
What happens here? Kel will actually leave the moment there, just kind of hanging in the air, and when Da actually does stand his ground, he just kind of gives him a he nods, accepts, and sits back down.
Da literally stands back up. Like and he says back, though the wind blows, the forest will not bow to it. And like he holds out, and like he firmly plants his quarterstaff in the ground, and like he looks at you through his mask. No matter how the wind blows, the great oaks will not bow.
Kel just smiles. He keeps his thoughts silent, but he just smiles.
I'm sorry, just eating the soup while looking between them.
Get around the show.
Right.
And I'm going to back away from the fire towards where Rocket is.
I mean, he's pretty much devoured. I mean, I don't know. I'm pretty sure he's full by now. I don't know. He eats till he's full. I don't think he can eat a whole satyr in one sitting. So,
No,
I mean, the
considering
satyr.
Satyr bigger than he is. No.
I mean, he's picked him. He's eating a pretty good part of him though. You know, both his legs are gone. His innards are basically nothing, like a whole husk in there. So yeah, he just
like
kind of sits back and just wipes his beak off.
I'm gonna then do something that's very uncharacteristic of myself. I'm gonna eat extremely fast, finish the soup as fast as I can, and after I get done, gently and go back to being calm again, and gently just set it down, stand up.
I never meant to cause trouble or problem with my presence. Perhaps we can sleep on this and talk about it later. But for now, I'll leave you to.
Kel says nothing.
Probably would give a traditional goodbye in Bazazian. Like, fairly well. Without looking at her, just keeping the face, like, at the staff. Looked at, Kel.
I walk off to and just wander the village just a little bit, and to find like some sort of alleyway in between some of the shanty shacks to sleep in.
Kel
So,
after. Oh, sorry. Go for it, Phil.
Dar sleeps on his feet. So, like, he can stand here literally all night.
Same position, just staff out, just ready to go to sleep.
So, like, yeah, whoever backs down first.
Kel will finish his satyr leg. He'll take a few moments, clean himself up with a rag. He'll go down to the sea and kind of wet his hair, kind of take a brief bath in the shore water, and then he'll go to meet up with, for lack of a better term, his date.
Before you leave, I want to do like one quick thing. My character is just going to say Aenea's name. And
He'll just look up. What about her?
she would be a child in your eyes. Yes?
He just kind of he looks on quizzically. I do not believe she is a child. She is, of what I know of her race, she is of age.
But to
And
you,
he very
to your...
to my
Oh,
eyes. No, she is not a child. Why, very suspiciously, why are you asking?
What do you plan with her?
He's kind of taken aback at this. Like he's being interrogated. What do you mean? What do I plan with her?
How do you feel for her?
How do I feel?
I will know if you lie.
Will you now?
And then just kind of nods slowly. Bearing in mind, this conversation is taking a very long time.
Yeah, right. I am in my head dubbing it in your character's voice while
Yes,
I
just to
am-
save time for everyone.
right. Yep, I got you, brother. I'm right there with you.
Nice.
I
Yeah,
have
well, like, how do you feel?
not considered my feelings for considered her. I
Consider hers. Leave her
I-
be. Be kind.
I certainly was not meaning to be unkind. Have I? Has she said anything?
I have seen how you looked at her. I have seen through her eyes. I will only say this once. She is my friend. Tread lightly. The forest may forgive, but it will never forget.
Kel actually takes all this with stride, and he thinks for a moment, and he smirks, and he's like, he's used some kind of sorcery to watch us have sex. and then he kind of gives this devilish look over at Da, and he goes, "Did you enjoy the show?"
Dar is confused.
When he gives that confused look back, he just grins and nods and says, "Yep," and he leaves. He just leaves at that.
God damn. Best way to diffuse a situation. Alright. Yeah, I'm gonna stay with pass the scene over to the other gentleman.
Alright, so yeah, we can go ahead and do your scene of you going back. Did you want to have your flashback on the way there or after your
Oh no. This is going to be on the way there. This will actually dictate how Kel reacts to the situation.
Alright, go ahead.
So Kel, like I said, he'll go down to the ocean. He will bathe again, make him presentable as the handsome brigand that he is. He has picked up the custom of preening like a peacock, the way they did in the lands inhabited by humans. He'll let his hair down as he normally has a leather thong that he's got. Kind of let that mane just kind of toss around in the tropical wind. And as he's walking through the village, he's clearing his thoughts from the day. He will remember the nightmare from the night before. He will actually smile beside himself, and he'll mutter, "Asta, even from here you still plague of some way of finding in dream. I cannot escape you." As the scene kind of fades to black, and we find a vision of Kel many cycles before today. Much younger, much more naive, not as heavily developed as is today. He leaves his village armed with a walking stick and a dagger. That's all he has. Leaves his village, walks across the plains, and enters that dark forest where he's traveled some dozens of times. He's forgotten. But he always he finds his way, as he always has, to to a clearing. Clearing in the woods, small, is shaded by those pine trees, those tall, majestic oaks, and he stands in the center of this grove. And he will mimic a bird call, with almost with a tone saying that he's arrived. He's announcing himself, which to other Freyeen, that's absolute suicide. Why would you ever do that in a forest that has more teeth than leaves and needles? But nonetheless, he announces himself, and out of the brush walks a vision. Mihangi woman, fair of skin. She has beautiful yet predatory lavender eyes, and her hair is tied up in almost a braided ponytail. And, he speaks to her. How many times must we do this? And she smiles back almost seductively and almost to a predator, a hunting cat, playing with her prey. She says, as many times as I deem it necessary, as many times as I want you. Unless you want your village to be taken. Kel looks down at his feet. He is all the equivalent of, say, a 17-year-old child. Doesn't cycle. She walks up to him and she runs her clawed fingers through his mane of thick red hair. I've always loved this color. She'll lean over and give him a love bite on the nape of her neck. The nape of his neck, excuse me. And as the curtains close on this scene, the begin to see just a silhouette of a brief lovemaking scene as we're shot back into Kel's consciousness today. He stands on Nfita's doorstep as he's about to knock on her door. Pauses. And he'll smirk, that evil smirk. What have you done to me? He'll enter her hovel and I'll save you the details, but he will be thorough and kind, gentle, but she'll be sore in naughty places by morning. I'll leave it over to the flame tender.
And then, as this goes on with Kel, we'll switch to Anir as she approaches, still in the night, trekking through the woodlands of the jungles, going back to retrieve her things. And she notices in the trees above, once again, the same tree as before. A Fintu, she now knows its name, stares down at her 20, 30 feet above, exactly where she saw it last time, and it just stares at her unblinkingly as she moves through the forest.
I stop and stare back at this creature up there. I've learned a little bit about it now. I've seen a few of them around, but now I know how valuable this thing is. And the sirens, the people in the village, they want these things. They want these things to eat, to offer to those people that have taken us to this place. There's a part of me wants to chase after it, wants to grab it, but I leave it be, staring at this strange alien creature, and I watch it for a while. Still unnerved, still unsettled, but from this night, but welcoming the distraction.
And as you stare back at it, you feel something wet on your forehead.
Oh, okay.
And you smell blood as it runs down your forehead and gets into your eyes, begins to sting your eyes. And through this haze of blood, you see the Fintu in the tree. There's no longer this strange alien creature, but a young Frayne girl smiling back at you, sitting at a tree limb, kicking her feet back and forth, with a smiling face, looking down at you.
I stand still, paralyzed. One hand goes up to rub away that which was on my face, rub that away quickly. I rub my eyes again, and then after the third time I realize I'm not dreaming. This is not a vision. I'm not in trance. And I freeze, looking up.
And you hear the laughter of the girl, not like a eerie laughter, a creepy laughter, but like a genuine happy laugh, as children are wont to do, echo through the forest. And then the blood finally leaves your eyes, and you see a Fintu staring back at you again from the tree.
I begin to step back and hide away just behind a tree and look around. I begin to nervously retch. I throw up a little bit. Just some water, just some... Get that out of my system as I then look around and look back at the Fintu and just grab a hold of my head, my face, run my clawed hands through my hair and my antlers and trying to process what I just saw. What was that thing? Did that Frayne, did she look like someone I had seen before by any chance?
It did. You remembered her. It was a little far, a little high up to make out exact features, but
I remember.
it looked familiar.
As I begin to shiver here, and then I begin to run. I run towards the beach, towards somewhere away from the forest, from the woods. And I eventually make it to the coast along the beach, still perhaps far away from where I intend to go. I look around, look up and down, look up at the moons, staring down on this dark night. I begin to walk. Then I stop and slump down on the sand of the beach and stare down at my hands, which are raking through the sand before me. The bits of seashells mixed in and the bits of shale rock. As I wait for the tremors to stop. Yep.
A whisper in your ear as you do this, and you're sitting here trying to relax. And Dazaze's a gentle, soothing voice that simply whispers to you of a young girl. Thank you.
I turn towards that direction, and of course I see nothing, right?
Yes, nothing's there.
Who are you? What? I know what. My hands grip the sand and tense up. I stay like that for a long time, listening to the sound of the waves crashing against the beach, and the sound of the jungle nearby. As I'm back remembering things. Back remembering things from long ago. Eventually I do slowly get up. I reach into my green robe, this cloak, and I take out the things which I hold dear. And I just pass them from hand to hand, looking at them, feeling them, rubbing my fingers along them. I feel the texture of the wooden deer carving, the powdery residue of the chalk and that copper medallion, that cold copper medallion. But I rub it till it's eventually warm in my hand and look around. Thoughts swimming as I near and head towards the place where I left my things.
And as you head there, you realize you've lost track of time a little more than you even thought you did. You're not sure if that vision or trance or whatever you were in took up more time than you thought, or maybe you spent more time recovering from it than you thought, but the sun is beginning to rise by the time you return to the cave. And in that sunrise, you see sharp flashes of light flash at you 3 quick times, and it doesn't quite hurt or make you as sick as much as the sun should right now. And it's almost like a comforting light, but then the sun continues to go into the sky and continues to rise higher, and the sickness slowly begins to take you. At this point, if you would like, you can. This is kind of a deciding factor a little bit of what's going to happen next. But if you want, I will allow you to buy the advantage vision and gold if you want it right now, considering something that's happening in the background. If you would like for Anir to not suffer ill effects from the sun any longer.
100%.
All right.
Absolutely.
So I'll go ahead and let you buy that, and then as you buy that, you feel the sickness start to well up in you again, but then the light flashes once more, and you can't help but smile as you're overcome with a calmness and hope for the future, hope for yourself, and you're just filled and radiated with hope as you look at the sun for the first time in your life. It doesn't hurt your eyes, it doesn't make you sneeze, it doesn't make you feel sick. You feel at home, you feel at peace.
I stand there gazing at this beautiful golden orb as it rises above the distance, the very distance, the haze of the ring of fire on the edge of the world as it slowly climbs into the dawn sky. I kneel there at the sand and the beach, and I feel they're far away from my tribe, my clan, my pack. I feel I let that peace, I let that serenity wash over me as I watch the rising sun.
And with that, I will switch back to Kel for our last scene before our call with soliloquies. And welcome back, Phil. We're going to be getting to soliloquies after this one scene we're about to do with Kel. So we go back to Kel, and as
Just
you're
some
sitting
background
there-
noise, Phil. If you just mute yourself, sorry.
And as you're laying in the bed, you know, dozing off, I'm assuming you slept with her, right?
Oh yeah, of course.
All right. So you're sitting there, and after a pleasant night, you're dozing off, and then sleep finally takes you, but you're awakened to feeling something on top of you. And as you open your eyes, you see her attempting to plunge a dagger into your chest. What do you do?
Oh, fuck!
Which her?
What was that? Sorry, you caught out.
No, what I'm saying is, which her are you speaking of?
The Feta, the Frayeen who you spent the night with.
Okay. Well, I will indeed defend myself.
All right, please make a defense roll.
Oh, there we go.
Oh
Is
my
that a
god.
good exclamation or a bad
Yeah,
one?
here, hang on.
What's happening?
What's the total?
Well, oh, for Christ's sake. And I don't have defense capacity. 44.
It'll be plus your defense. Yeah. Wow.
Oh my!
Oh, wait, hang on. I've got a +1. You guys hear me, or?
Yeah.
44, right?
Yes, 45, excuse me.
All right. Well, she got a 17. So
Yeah, no, not the
Alright.
fucking day, sweet.
the only thing you can do to stop this is you grab her hands, like as she goes to plunge down into you, and now you're in control and it's your turn. You can attack if you like, or try to talk, or do whatever you want, but it is now your turn. You're holding back the dagger from being plunged into your chest.
I'm assuming this is the knife fight scene from Saving Private Ryan.
Oh no, I
haven't
hope we don't end
actually
that way.
seen- I
I hope
haven't
we don't
actually
end that way.
seen that movie, but-
That'll be bad for you.
No, we're this oh no So I'm gonna the reflexes of a jungle cat. I'm gonna catch her wrist, and I'm gonna look in her eyes, not blinking, and I'm just gonna say, "Wrong choice, my dear," and I'm going to break her fucking wrist in my hand.
All right, go ahead and give me a brawl roll to see if she'll try to defend against that, or try to pull her hand away from you.
Oh my god, ladies and gentlemen, I just rolled double 8s again.
Amazing. What's
My
the total,
apologies
man?
Again, I'm assuming.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, man. Keep
Like
keep
last
going.
time.
Right.
8s always explode.
Right.
All right, what's your total?
That is a 30 total.
She got a 24 total.
Yeah.
So you don't quite boost, but you do damage. How much is what's your total strength? Not your total strength, but your strength rating.
My strength rating is 12. I've got a +4.
All right, so you're gonna do 6 damage to her.
So as I'm, all right, finish your sentence here quickly.
All right, so you're about to do 6 damage to her, which is not enough to bring her into the quick yet. So you don't quite snap the wrist, but you do put a big hurting on her, and possibly
She's not going to be
bruise
able
her.
to use that hand.
Yeah, it's like it's not like completely broken, but it's in a bad spot.
Okay. But yeah, I'm basically going to, with kind of that death vice grip. I'm gonna clamp down, and I'm not gonna blink. I'm just looking into her eyes with this hatred. And Kel knew this was coming. He knew that just a foreign woman drank the poison laced wine, the cult and the militia here, just a false power given to a bunch of sad vagrants and ex-sailors by an alien sea people. This doesn't phase him at all. But yeah, I'm.
Give me a strength roll.
Oh jeez, I'm rolling fire tonight. Damn. Uh, 29.
Oh, nice. So she tries to force it down into your chest, but you're holding her hands back. And as you're sitting there glaring at her, unmoving, it slowly, like she's trying to push it down, and you keep squeezing, and her bones start to crack more and more as you see her face twist and turn. And just as you think you're about to rip her hand off, you twist one last time, and it snaps, and the hand actually gets
Crunch.
ripped off. Like you tear it off, like entirely. And
Well,
from there,
I'm not pulling on it. I am squeezing the bones together so she can't use that hand. She'll never use it
Yeah.
again.
like you squeeze it, and as you're squeezing it, it gets literally popped off. Is what I'm saying. Like it's also pushing, because then you find out something is pushing from within the hand, like something's coming out of her arm. Like it's not just you that's doing that's making her hand come off.
Okay.
As you see this
Oh,
long black claw come out of the hand, and it goes all the way down to you and presses against your chest,
Oh.
and then you wake up with a massive chest pain and the smell of wet pine once again, laying in the bed of her house.
So, shut up, John. You're not there. No. So, Cal is going to do something that is probably going to destroy his relationship with this boy.
She's not in the bed, by the way. She's actually awake, because normal Frames don't sleep. They only meditate. So she's been up she only meditates for 2 hours. So she's like up and about.
Oh, good. Because I was to take her to the doctor and break her neck right there, because that was a horrifying dream. So he will quite literally corkscrew out of the bed and land on his feet.
She'll quickly spin around and say, "What's the matter?"
And he'll stand, and he will pounce on her. He will quite literally grab her by the throat and take her to the floor.
All right, and you'll notice like she turns around. She was like holding some bowls with some fruits and stuff. Like she was like preparing something to
Oh,
eat.
she's fucking making me breakfast. God damn it. All right. It's gonna be great. Ooh. All right. Oh, the player doesn't want to do it, but the character has to.
Make a attack roll. I'll let you get a free attack. She's not expecting it, so just make the attack roll and see if she can react fast enough to you lunging at her. Cutlass is not on her. It is actually laying next to the bed. If you would like to grab it as well.
Oh no, Kel is not thinking. He is still waking up, kind of in that dreamlike state where he's not quite sure if reality is reality quite yet. But oh well, actually, I'm gonna bring that back a bit. I'm just gonna narrate this for you. He actually gets to her and he gets his hand around her throat, but as soon as he touches her, and he actually feels how cool her skin is, like it stops. Everything clicks into place.
And as you do that, as you put your hand around her neck, she doesn't necessarily react to stop you. She's not expecting you to hurt her or anything, so she kind of just like looks at you with surprise.
And Kel, being the quick-thinking rogue that he is, he will just keep his hand there, and he will like hold her, and he will pull her in, and he'll kiss her on the face, and he'll just say, "Good morning, my dear."
Oh,
With this look on his face, like, he lets go of her and says, he's very sheepish, very embarrassed right now, because he was like, I'm gonna fucking murder this woman. He takes a step back and just looks at her, and is that breakfast?
Indeed, it was.
Oh, I am so sorry. I have not been myself. I have not.
What's that rather odd smell? Do you smell that?
It is of no consequence. Never mind it.
Yes, well, here's your breakfast. As she passes you a bowl of assorted fruits.
Oh, look, plant fire. Okay. It's these subconscious thoughts going. It couldn't be Seder, could it? Oh, all right, fantastic. All right, I am fucking normal. Thank you. And he will sit down and try and be seen to be normal. Even though he's very, if she does any insight, he's very
Make meditation mind control roll if you have any forte in mind control. That is.
I don't have a 14 control.
All right, so just make.
Meditation.
All right, so just make a normal meditation roll.
11.
All right. She doesn't say anything, but she gives you a few strange looks. And with that, we will pan out to the soliloquies. We pan out of Kel sitting there awkwardly at breakfast, trying to keep his composure. And we'll go over to Da and get his soliloquy for this evening.
Da first then, right?
Apologies.
Okay. Yep. Okay.
Apologies in. Hold on. Apologies in advance. I'm in a break. Is this okay?
Yeah, you're good. Go ahead.
Would have been standing, sleeping the night. He would have extended his roots into the soil and be taking moisture up overnight. And as the sun rises, he retracts them again and mulls over what happened last night. He is supremely uncomfortable. His internal monologue is something of the lines, "I trusted her. Why did I hid from her my gift, given to me to use for the benefit of grandfather Acorn. But why did I trust her? Pretty little thing. But so is Kel. I am weary of this distrust. I am weary of being hunted. The enforcers are everywhere, even on this island, in the middle of nowhere. Wherever I go, I will be chased. Wherever I go, I will be hunted. But I just pray to you, the one who I trust above others here, O'Neill. I pray to Yilnoth that she is true. I pray that she will not betray me. And Rocky, he is a dangerous person. But there is good in him. I thank the gods that... Sorry. I thank the 44 trolls. There we go. I thank the 44 that I am still living. I thank the 44 that this is not militant branch of enforcers, or perhaps not even the true enforcers themselves. I pray that I will bring about what I need to, that I will bring back the seed of my grandfather. And I now know that grandfather was right. I can't trust anyone, truly. Not even Emil. Perhaps not even myself. No one must know of my art, of the third part. By Yilnoth, I pray that Ralia will forget that I can sign this off to just a, perhaps even something which my kind can do. I do not know. But all that is certain is I must now be more careful than I've ever been. And that's the end for me.
And then we'll have Anir go up next.
Okay. So, as Anir is sitting on the beach nearby the cliffs, the cave where we've been holed up for a long time, she looks over towards the rising sun, the dawn, has in her hands the pendant, the brooch of Array, the chariot depiction on this copper etched medallion. I ruminate and think. I do not know what that means. What I just saw. I saw her. I saw her like I saw her that night, long ago. That night when I fell upon her. That night when I raided her village. That night when I proved myself to be a warrior. A hunter. A predator. Just like that night. Yet, she said thank you. She did not come back from the grave to strike me down like I feared. She smiled, she laughed. I don't know what it means and what came from my head, this blood. The blood which I shed. The blood which I was sprayed in when I fell upon Takei. When I saw him there. Ephraim. But the sun. I look over towards this golden rising sun, and for the first time, I look at its brilliance, and it doesn't burn me, not like before. I breathe in through my nose and out my mouth as I bask in the glow of it. It is so glorious. It is so perfect. so full of light. And I see it now. I see the light. I can see it clearly. And I can see how it distinguishes all before its sight. When I saw Kel eat of the satyr's blood, I know Freyine, and I know that is not a Freyine thing to do. That is an Ulfa thing. They are ones who eat flesh. Rockbeak aside, of course, he is strange and alien, but I know Freyine, and I know that Kel. I don't know what Kel is. A fearsome, golden thing. Oh, how I hunger for him. Oh, how I want him. But yet, there is something about him. A danger. Something predatory. Something which looks so much like the Ulfa, the Mihangi of the forest. As if he's been touched by him. He does not trance, he eats things a Freyine does not eat. He is so tall. Have I been wrong? Has he been something else all this time? But perhaps now I can see. Now, maybe I can shine a light in and see what exactly that is. I have to make sure everyone is safe and everything will be able to go ahead as planned if we are going to get off this island safely. I have to. I cannot do this by myself. I need to rely upon my pack. I need them. And I feel I owe it to them. As I gaze off towards the rising sun, the fears, the doubts, they slowly, though not gone, they do dampen. And I smile. For the first time in a very, very long time.
Alright, next up will be Rockbeak.
As Rockbeak stirs from his slumber as the break of dawn comes, he will stretch out from his shell and just look around like, oh yeah, Nia's not back yet. I hope she's all right. Yeah, Kel probably had him a good time too. Just look over and Dawes just standing straight up. I'll never get used to that there. Hey, stand straight up and sleeping. Just looks over at Relia, assuming she's doing something.
I'm not nearby. I went off the alley.
Looks around and it's just him and Da. I don't know where the little one went. I don't know what's going on. Man, that was some good Seder. Well, seems like everything's gonna be alright. I mean, we got a plan going. It's gonna be a good day. I can feel it. As long as no rocks fall down from the sky. Just one step closer to getting off this fucking island. He just stretches and scratches his shell a little bit. He will waddle off to start the day.
And then next up, we will have Relia, and then we'll do Kel last to get his thoughts.
Well, unlike the others doing their soliloquies in the morning, I'll do mine at night when I was alone. And then, like, next session we can start with like me waking up or whatever.
Yes,
But,
because you wouldn't meditate at night, by the way, being a Freying, because that would really be entering the realm of nightmares. So you're basically active throughout the night.
All right, but I'm gonna sit there and kind of chill throughout the night, and I have nowhere to really write, like draw or anything. So, um, is it all right if I do this with you at nighttime?
Yeah, it's fine, just whenever.
Okay, because well, that's kind of important. But all right. So, so I'm sitting there and I'm looking up at the sky and what little I can see within this alleyway.
This day has been very eventful. And once again, I've seemed to be made the enemy. I'm never really sure exactly what I do to deserve this. I'm trying everything I can to make it right, to prove myself in some way. Although I'm starting to lose a reason to why I even should any, because it always. Oh, am I cursed to live out my days like this? Be seen as some.
I gaze up at the sky and the light, Mazda, and the lack of light, sun, which I hold.
Oh, dear Creator, why have you made me like? Why have you set me here upon this lonely, desolate island to die? I'm not sure I quite understand. But this curse and that I was born with, where is your light?
Long little pause.
Oh, I see. I'm supposed to be the light. That's why my face glows when I'm happy. Yet, I'm denied even that most of the time. Could it be that you created a light just to be snuffed out? Is it my place to be in the night, to speak with the dead, to die with them? I'm not sure. But if this is what you wanted, then
I begin to cry slightly.
I'll serve you like I always have.
And that'll be the end of that.
And then we'll go for Kel.
All right, thanks, brother. Kel take his bowl, assorted fruit berries. I'm assuming there's probably a mango, half a pie, and a bunch of berries or something such in there. She'll likely go sit on the side of her bed. I'll go sit next to her, and I look upon her with a. There is a comforting nostalgia. I see her, despite the previous, next the most recent nightmare that I've had, where I broke the wrist. But he banishes those thoughts. He will sit there quietly and maybe kind of sit closer to her, which is intimate than would be considered a casual breakfast, but he will then himself his it has been 60 cycles since I had left my home 60 to the morning, 2 chains ago. And still, and yet, that woman can still find me in my dreams. Asta, what have you done to me? My people do not eat meat. They do not drink the blood like a vampire. What demon have I become? Pause. For a long moment. He'll have himself a bit of the mango. He'll lose himself in his thoughts again. I have attributed to my tall stature and good looks, my mane of fiery hair, to more my beloved Lord of Fire. You've kept me warm when I was cold. You've protected me when I rarely pray to you. And you've let me go my way. But I am indeed lost. I am not entirely fraying. I know not where I came. Of course, I came out of my mother when I was born, and she was fraying, as we all naturally. Yes, indeed. But there is something horrible. He will then think of all of the prostitutes that he's gone to bed with. I mean, in the lands of human, remembers that ogre whore that he'd favored for many cycles. He traveled the human land. Naelga was her name. It was always interesting pillow talk afterwards. You'll remember a more blessed human, red of hair just like he. Kiara. I never inflicted such a demon like myself upon them. What has been happening to me since I came to this island? I don't know. But I think I should sleep a little. We shall see. He will, end his, thoughts, and he will look over at Fita with a smile on his face as he's now done his fruit. He'll kind of lean across her and place his bowl on the nightstand just beyond her. He'll scoot a little closer to her. He'll kind of, if she's wearing a tunic, he'll pull it across her shoulder, exposing her neck and her collarbone there. And he'll leave a gentle love bite on her, the same way that Asta would leave upon him. And he'll give a go for a possible round 2 as the curtains of the stage begin to close.
And as we fade to black there, one thing that crosses Kel's mind for one last time is this bruise on his chest that he received long ago from the beating from the sirens has never quite healed. And mechanically speaking, he's at 1 less than maximum health right now. And he woke up from that restless sleep still unhealed. And this bruise reminds Kel of his dreams every time he bumps it, every time his lover touches it, every time he stretches the wrong way, it aches a little, just a bit, just enough to remind him it's there. And with that, I will say thank you, everyone, for joining us for session 4 of Island of the Lost. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I hope that you'll all join us next time.